Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm sharing some amazing...
Some amazing what? I have to know.
I want to know. All right. I think we're live streaming. About to find out. We are. Yeah, we're live. I wasn't able to tap in TikTok again, so I'll try again tomorrow. So
I like the title you used today. South Park body shames Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. That was a cool...
That's fun.
Hopefully it gets us some viewers. Guilty Angel and Delicate are both here. Hello. Good to see you guys. I'm sorry that I was a little late. I got to get better. I recognize that I got to get better. Stop TikTok. And I hope you guys are well. Happy Monday. I hope you don't have the Mondays. How was your weekend, Angela?
The weekend was awesome.
Was it?
Yeah, well, I finally convinced you to watch a double feature with me, and so that was really fun.
That's true. We watched Virtual Items and Rewards Policy Update. Got it. Thanks for telling me just before I'm going live. We watched a double feature. We did a lot of watching, didn't we? But we watched, we did a double feature. We watched Godzilla. This was the Godzilla that was subtitled. You know which one.
Godzilla -1.
That's the one. Godzilla -1. We watched that. We loved it. I loved it. I had some real problems. There was this one interlude in the movie where the music changes, where fucking everything changes, and it just I almost forgot what movie I was watching.
That was so out of place. It must have been like an homage to a different movie.
It's weird, wasn't it? It was completely.
I wonder if it was like some nod to the previous Godzillas that they were remaking or something. I don't know. Seemed really strange.
Noah's here. What's up?
Hello. I just thought it was really awesome, and it turned out to be a perfect double feature. So we started with Godzilla -1, which takes place in the late 1940s.
Yeah.
And then we watched Kong Skull Island.
Skull Island, yeah.
Which starts in 1945, and then it catches up to the present day. So it was almost like a perfect order of the double feature. I couldn't have asked for better.
Yeah, it was, it flowed perfectly.
Yeah, it was over in Japan, they're making Godzilla, but on this strange island in the middle of nowhere.
Now
this uncharted island, they're disrupting King Kong.
Yeah. This is obviously I haven't checked your levels yet. I should do that while I'm, obviously, this is a subjective opinion, but King Kong to me was the better movie.
Skull Island specifically, yeah.
Yeah, King Kong Skull Island was the better movie than Godzilla -1, even though Godzilla -1 did win an Oscar for Best Special Effects, which I think was very well deserved.
Yeah.
I think it was the best integration of the monster into, 20th century.
Yeah.
So
when he powered up his nuke, the Godzilla nuke. Yeah, super, super fun.
Yeah.
I caught myself a bunch of times watching that movie going oh, fuck yes.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking crazy.
I just love when action movies do it well.
Exactly. So, anyway, it was a very good movie. And I loved that it was Japanese subtitles. I happen to be a fan of listening to the actors, because I like hearing their, their acting. I want to hear their they say, and when I say they, I believe this is part of neuro-linguistic programming. So it's a part of the psychology world. But they broke down communication scientifically, and it breaks down thusly: 7% words. See, it's funny. 7% of effective communication, or communication that's is words. Yeah. 38% is so 55% is your physiology, the way you use your body, which is amazing. And if you think about this, how many times do we speak to each other without ever uttering a single word, or even a sound for that matter, which accounts for 38%.
I want to talk about that, but continue with your percentage breakdown.
I forget fucking 38% for some reason. God damn it. Oh, man.
Sorry, you don't know?
Years. 30% is...
I thought you were trying to make a point about the percentage breakdown of effective communication.
I was. I definitely was. Well, the point I was making was that auditory, the way the way in which you say things. So so
Your tone of
if I
voice.
say I love you, I can say I love you in two different ways and mean two different, entirely different
Right.
things. So and that accounts. So the way in which we say things, or the auditory values to them, it accounts for 38% of effective communication. 55% is our body, the way we use our body. So 7% of it is words. So the idea that you take out the dubs, you throw in the dubs, you're taking away or diminishing, 38 plus 55, right? Of effective communication, because the way in which we express, the way we physically use our bodies is going to change the way we audible, the way we or the way we our auditory values. I don't know how else to put it. Fucking fumbling all over the
What,
place
your
already.
tone of voice?
Yeah, not just your tone, like intonation, and you're certainly the volume,
Right.
all of these things. Like there's like every aspect of what would ultimately create effective communication. So,
So
anyway,
this is-
I've gone on too long
So
about
this
this.
is your case for not dubbing movies.
I
foreign language films.
enjoy reading subtitles for sure. Like one of the things I wish I wasn't doing was reading subtitles for Squid Games.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry. One of the things I wish I was doing was reading subtitles.
Yeah, we had a short disagreement when we started watching Squid Games, because I wanted to watch the dubbed version because I understood there's going to be a lot of action and a bunch of different characters. There's like, as soon as you start that show, you're like, oh, there's like 50 people in a room all shouting at each other. So I was like, okay, well, let's just do the dubbed, because I feel like I'm going to miss a lot. I have a problem sometimes with subtitles where I'll read, but I won't really comprehend as well,
Right.
because I'm trying to move my eyes back to what's happening on the screen,
It's definitely like a taste thing. I know others who prefer dubs too.
I don't prefer dubs when it's not like, a bunch of characters and action and stuff.
God, I mean, as a
Like
guy,
if it was just like two people talking, like eat, drink, man, woman, definitely don't want dub. I want subtitles with that one,
for sure, absolutely, or irreversible for that matter.
Yeah, right.
That's really what I'm saying, and I really don't find it much different, even if it's in a big popcorn movie where the acting is like over. I love the Japanese overacting too, like just, whoa, like just all that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, it's
like,
so great.
It's just amazing that they can maintain it and arc it, and like it's so theatrical.
Squid Games is a Korean show, right?
Squid Games is Korean.
Yeah, they're so great. They did such a good job of casting like total comic book characters. Like everybody that they cast in the original Squid Games was like so overplaying their character, but they did it with just enough restraint so it wasn't completely outlandish and unbelievable.
Yeah.
I loved it so much. And I thought that the actors that they used for the English dubbing were excellent. And I thought they really
were.
tried to stay true to what they were.
Yeah, I mean, I have a friend who has like she runs a whole business of doing dubs. She casts shows, and it's a kind of a remarkable thing, really. I mean, it's impressive. It's an impressive thing. But if I can get the real actor first, I'd prefer it. That's just how I feel. I just like hearing him go down. But we've gone on so long about this. I enjoyed very much watching this movie in Japanese.
Godzilla -1.
Yeah, but the winner of the double feature was definitely King Kong Skull Island. That threw down for me all the way in terms of just like eating popcorn and watching a movie.
Yeah, it did have a bunch of those moments where I was like, oh, I can see what the writers did here. And it's ideally you don't want to think
Well, it was
that
Apocalypse
at all.
Now. It was like this. There was
I know.
this whole like
Yeah.
Apocalypse Now parody.
That must have been the pitch. They're like, it's Apocalypse Now with King Kong.
with King Kong on an island. You're like, excuse me? Oh yeah, you'll see. And Marlon Brando? No, John C. Reilly. Yes.
It's Heart of Darkness with a monster.
Tanner's with us. Hello, Tanner. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Tanner.
By the way, Papa John's Lover 32 finished Dairy Girls. Do you know what that is?
It's a TV show.
Yeah, I believe you. They finished it and said it was very good.
Oh, we'll check that out.
I'd be interested in something called Dairy Girls.
The only dairy I ever think of, Derry, is the fictional location of Stephen King books.
The fictional location of Stephen King
Yeah.
books.
He's in Derry.
He is in Derry, yeah.
I remember he's in Derry in It, but is that all? Is he always in Derry? Are you squeegee?
I looked at my TikTok. I was like, "What's up, Nadine?" I love Dairy Girl, said Nadine. Nadine's with us. It's been a minute.
I'm looking
Good
this
to see
up.
her. No, I was looking at the TikTok feed, and it was all foggy, and that meant that my lens was dirty, which might gross somebody out. Just even talking about it, so I apologize.
It is English.
It's just like a fingerprint, though, I'm sure.
Derry Girls is not even American.
Oh, good. Well,
it's a British-produced period teen sitcom set in Derry, Northern Ireland.
Oh, well, that's fun. The Irish are very funny.
Yeah, this looks awesome. We should check it out. It's on Netflix.
I know you meant love.
Okay,
Nadine.
so it's not a horror set in the world of Stephen King.
No,
I thought.
It's like when Stephen King leaves us for the, for Writer's Planet.
For the Great Derry Beyond.
For the Great Derry and the Beyond. I think that when he does, there'll be like Derry titled tributes. At least from our house.
Am I tripping? Is this not a real place?
Yeah, no.
Did he fictionalize it?
No, I don't know. He may have fictionalized it. I cannot comprehend these things. I'm sorry.
Yeah, everybody else has asked this question before. Is Derry, Maine real?
Is it?
Yeah, no, it's a fictional town created by Stephen King.
Exactly. That makes me that
most notably
all the more reason to tribute him
Yeah.
to it, in that way.
While Derry itself isn't a real place, it's heavily inspired by his hometown of Bangor, Maine.
Oh, that just ruins it for me.
Why?
Because it just, forget it. Forget about all of it.
Didn't you love it before the internet when we were all wondering where Springfield was in The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Nobody could decide. Everybody debated it.
Right. Exactly. Now everybody knows.
And now, like somebody said.
Speaking of him,
And it ruined it.
Matt Groening is being very political.
What do you mean? Only now he's being very political?
Well, he's just
You're
being
kidding.
Well, not just now, but he's being like, he's just, they're all chatting a lot. Everybody's chatting a lot right now. I kind of love it. It's definitely more unusual than like before. I mean, obviously, this kind of like parlays into two things that, I wanted to cover, because we talked about Jay Leno. Do you remember when we talked about Jay Leno? And I called him a mega douche because he'd come out and said something stupid about, something about David Letterman being quirky or something when asked about their dispute, their 30-year dispute.
Jay Leno's still mouthing off. He's talking about how these late night talk show hosts get too political and they should just quit dividing people. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Every single joke I ever heard about Monica Lewinsky came from fucking Jay Leno, and they were all crude. They were all grotesque. They were all awful.
Yeah, no, I mean,
really insensitive.
She put out a supercut of it.
Yeah.
Fairly recently, when I think she put out her memoir. I think she put out a supercut of Jay Leno's fucking garbage coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, he doesn't have a say.
He's a fucking
and
loser.
how people should conduct themselves.
He is such a loser. I'm glad you covered. You read this as well, because I read it earlier too, and it just got me infuriated with the guy. I've never liked him. I've never liked his brand of comedy, which is like one thing. Whatever, who cares about that? But as a man, I just think he's like a weak human being, and he's out like criticizing these people. And it reminds me, of course, of the great, Aristotle's, quote of a friend to all is a friend to none. He is this guy who wants to pretend to be this person that he's fucking not. He wants to pretend that he cares about, only one thing, and that's making people laugh. He makes my fucking skin crawl is what he does. He doesn't make me laugh. He makes me fucking crawl into the darkness and hide from the evil that is him.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Pretty strong words from Dale Wheatley.
Yeah, I'm punching him right in the teeth.
I'm getting the sense that you have strong opinions about this Jay Leno character.
I think he's the greatest. What a big giant douche. Like here we are. We're in this like thing, right? Literally, it's plain as day that Donald Trump negotiated the firing of Stephen Colbert and even the actual axing of that show as a result, or that just being the end. They probably just realized as soon as they fire him, they've basically ended the show because everybody will revolt. They saw it coming, but they did it so they could get that $8 billion deal through. And they sold him out. And who comes to his rescue, or to Colbert's rescue, but his old friends, right? So these comics stand up in unity, and they're saying "fuck you." And this is what we need right now. You can't fight fascism by not speaking out about it. You can't do it. And these are the guys with the loudest mouths. So that they're able to do it is kind of their fucking duty, considering all the good things that they get in life, including the fucking great tax breaks that this fucking president gives them in the first place. And then this douche comes along and decides that he's going to like try to strike him down at the knees because, hey, I don't think you need to check the room, buddy. What are you? You're a comedian. You're supposed to make people laugh. Now you're only making half the people laugh, as if half the fucking people belonging to any of those other comedians belongs to any of MAGA or any kind of movement like it.
Well, also, like, Jay Leno ever got a laugh without the big applause sign shining in his studio, like that was a laugh track audience,
Oh,
like
he's
they
so
were told
gross.
when to laugh, like that. None of that was.
I'm glad I got to test the compressor I put on my voice already.
Oh, you just have to shout a little bit to test whether it's working.
It was totally unintentional.
Okay, let me just reel it back because
Yeah.
you started talking about Matt Groening,
Yeah.
and I'm a big fan. And so I wanted to know what the hell you were going to say about it.
So he's said,
Can you
he's-
just
he
make sure?
said,
There's no allegations, right?
No,
I don't
no.
want to hear that he's a bad person.
No, I said he's being political.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't say
if
he's
this is no surprise to
under
somebody.
arrest.
This is no surprise to anybody that knows his work, right? Like, did you ever read the comic? He had this huge career of this comic, Life in Hell. Did you ever read that?
No.
It was this rabbit character, had the same
Life
face
in
as
Hell?
this. Yes,
Oh.
Life in Hell.
Mhm.
He had like an early Bart Simpson, but it was like really crude. But mainly it was a rabbit character.
Did you see the one that was on the Tracy Ullman show? It was pretty fucking crude.
Yeah, right. It was before Tracy Ullman's, before he debuted The Simpsons.
Right.
Anyway, Life in Hell was really great, and it was totally political. The whole thing was anti-capitalist.
Well, I wasn't meaning that he's not political in his work. I'm saying he's speaking outwardly about politics. But yes, so I'm not trying to create a revelation here of Matt Groening coming out of some pocket. I know he's had George W. Bush on the show. But what I am saying is that he's speaking out politically. And one of the things that he's saying, I just love these guys. This is what I'm saying. Like Jay Leno fucking, let me be the guy who tries to bring everybody together because that's me. Fucking Matt Groening is like, he predicts that there'll be dancing in the street when you know who dies.
Did you see that?
He's playing the like, has anyone done it yet game?
I know. Did you see that? Did you see that TikTok trend where you surprise your parents or your grandparents with their favorite celebrity, the news that their favorite celebrity passed?
Oh, it's like, oh, really? Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
It's kind of cruel because
It's
they're
pretty
like
cruel. I used to do it.
eliciting.
I didn't do deaths. I used to do I used to do. I was even worse back in like the 90s. I would do things like Brad Pitt got caught sleeping with Ethan Hawke, and I would like because my ex at the time, she was like crazy about them. I was like, oh my god, you're not gonna believe this. Brad Pitt got caught in a hotel, totally naked with Ethan Hawke, and like those are her two favorites.
So you were like an early innovator of the trend.
And she bought it. She would be like, and just go right into a fucking state of shock.
You gasped and upset the dog. The dog is like, "Is everybody okay?" I was bringing it up because this person, her dad, his favorite celebrity is Donald Trump, and so she surprised him, tricked him by reading the news
Of him
and the
passing?
the guy like starts sobbing, and somebody shared it by saying
Wow.
like, "Yes, we all are gonna be crying on that day, but just for different reasons."
Yeah. Tears of joy for some, for sure. Well, and for others. And listen, listen, if he's your guy, he's your guy. I don't get it, but he's your guy. I can't.
Nadine's so cute. She said to switch to YouTube to see Angela. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl, what's going on? Hey, well, listen, speaking of seeing Angela on YouTube, I did a lot of work, man. I swapped out cameras. She's looking great, man. Looking more and more like herself.
Oh, Comic-Con is happening right now.
I know.
And Tanner said, have you kept up with Comic-Con? We're getting Wily Coyote versus Acme now because the fans wanted it. Do you remember this
Yes.
huge controversy?
Yes.
Where they were gonna completely shelve this I think it was almost completed, if not totally completed, Acme Wile E. Coyote movie, and everybody protested. I remember the pictures, like they just released a bunch of BTS pictures of the practical effects that they'd created for this movie. It was going to be like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit all over again. You know, so beloved. Well, they finally acquiesced to the fans, and now they're going to release it. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a funny thing. I'm happy for the fans. That's wonderful. I'm happy for the artists. I know that they all wanted it out, and
Yes.
you know, and I'm glad that the studio lost and they get to now release a movie and
they
make
paid
a
for?
bunch of money.
Yeah. So weird.
It's just, I don't get any
So
of it.
what's the story behind that choice? Because you understand studio, machinations more than I do.
It sounds to me like a company taking a write-off
Okay.
and then and now putting it back on the books. So they just took a write-off when they needed it, and now they're putting it back on the books because either maybe something fell out of their slate and they got a spot for it, or there's just a marketing angle that seems to work now. And so, you know, because it's never not going to be an asset to them. It's always going to be there, sitting there on the shelf. But when they take the loss, they get to write it off. They get to say, oh, you know, we lost. We didn't get to put this out. We spent $150 million on it. So they take the $150 million loss on their taxes, and then they go and they put it back on the books. When they put it back on the books, then they're putting that $150 million back into play, and it's going to, you know, whatever. But again, and look, obviously a big deal is going to be the mileage they got out of the cancellation. They have an audience. You know, it's not an accident they waited till Comic-Con to tell everybody. I mean, you know, they turned it into marketing, which isn't the wrong thing to do. I don't want to, like, you know, you were so wisely read this thing that we got from a marketing company when we were in this lawsuit with Leonardo DiCaprio, and this marketing company put together this whole plan about how we were supposed to be dealing with things. And they always talked about bringing it back to our story or bringing it back to our purpose, which is Don's Plum, and the, you know, and how deserved it is of being in the marketplace and how good of a movie it is.
Yeah, specifically, they're like, if somebody wants to ask you in the press about the controversy, you are not to talk about the controversy, but instead it's always consider it always an opportunity to pivot back to something you do want to talk about, which is the success of your filmmaking endeavor and how you guys all collaborated and you made something so wonderful together and how it was big success for everybody.
Yeah.
It's really great advice. You see people doing it all the time. You know, you can tell which celebrities have great media training and which ones don't, or which ones do and just don't care. But you can see when people, we actually saw this on the red carpet interviews of people from It Ends With Us. When they were asked by the press about what it was like working with Baldoni, and he was wearing so many hats, like, what was that like from your experience, so-and-so actor who worked with him on the set? And they were like, well, I can say that I really loved the way this movie turned out. Like they pivoted so expertly.
Yeah.
I did it more awkwardly than they do. Everybody's just prepared and practiced, you know?
Yeah, well, you know, because... Yeah.
So you're saying that the studio that wanted to shelve Acme, that they're just like, yes, we were the villains, but isn't it wonderful that now we're doing the thing everybody wants, and don't you want to come and pay for this movie ticket, right?
Exactly. I mean, they put the movie in a position to get. They got all that mile. That was all free. They didn't pay a dime for that movie's advertising to anybody. And here we are on this live, as small as we are, and we've got, you know, one of our friends on here telling us the story. So, you know, they got what they need, and it's brilliant in that way. And they got to get the write-off because that's the way the tax system works. You can write it off and then put it back in the books later. So,
did you hear the premise of the movie?
No.
It's delightful.
Please tell us all.
You know how Wile E. Coyote is a frequent customer of Acme products.
Yeah.
And they always fail. He always gets injured.
Yeah.
So he's finally going to sue Acme.
Oh,
Acme.
This is the lawsuit?
I said Acme.
It's a law movie? It's like a
No, it's just
courtroom drama?
like he's suing the Acme Corporation.
Really?
Isn't that funny?
Yes.
Because
And
I bet
John Cena's in it, right?
I don't know. I know Will Forte's in it, and I really
Is it Will Forte? Maybe that's who I was.
I love him so much.
Oh,
But
by
I
the
just
way,
think
Janet
that's-
just was like, Brad Pitt did what?
Yeah.
See, it works.
This is how rumors get started, bro. You got to be careful.
Claire has a question. She says, what was the last thing that you said to Leo DiCaprio, for anyone not knowing who that might be? And what did he say to you? Okay. But what is the last thing that Leo, this is a very long time ago, last thing Leo said to me?
In the settlement conference?
No. I saw him after that,
You spoke?
but we didn't speak. The last time I saw him, he bit his fist at me. I was in a New York club, like a nightclub. And I walked into it, and
He does that in Wolf of Wall Street. I've seen the GIF.
He was, wow, this is way before that. This
No,
is
I know, but this is the thing that he
1999
does.
maybe.
So he bit
No.
his fist.
He bit his fist at me.
But you're not supposed to bite.
And I did shout at, like, he was walking past me and he saw me and he got that, you know, the glare, and then he put his fist to his mouth and he bit it.
That's so stupid.
Which I would have just punched him in the face if he wanted that, like, happily.
No, you just like, what you do is you just jab his elbow and he punches himself.
That would have been great. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, sorry. You can get that fixed with the dentist. You'll be fine. I did say it's the thumb, Leo. It's the thumb. I bite my thumb.
Yeah, it's the fucking thumb. That's so
I yelled
stupid.
that at him as he was walking by. It's the fucking thumb, Leo. That was the last thing I said to Leo, probably.
I bet he still thinks about that.
Probably not. But it might come to him in his dreams.
It's like he had a chance to give you the middle finger and he gave you like the pointer finger instead. He's like, damn it.
So I guess that was the last thing I said to Leonardo DiCaprio. What was the last thing Leo said to me? I don't fucking remember. You know, I think the last time that we spoke was probably in his deposition. You know, I think I put this in the book, but I was trying to get past him. And I body checked him into the wall. And we had an exchange then. That might have been our last exchange. I don't even know. It was somewhere around there.
No, the settlement conference was after that.
Was it? Oh, yes. But I didn't see him in the settlement conference. In the one that we settled. I never saw his face.
No, I'm talking.
Oh, the other one. You're right. No, it wasn't. It was before that.
Oh.
Well before that, actually. The one where I almost
So
went at it with Toby.
So his deposition was after your first attempt to settle, when you guys all fought
Yeah.
in the law office? That's interesting.
Yeah.
What a bunch of jerks.
So Blake Lively, I got you know, that's the thumb for today. So
We have a visitor in our chat, Nikki T. Said,
Yeah, I saw
Blake
that.
Lively's team got nothing, LOL. They are running scared.
Okay. I mean,
She's got a lawsuit, is what she's got. Baldoni doesn't have one of those.
what do you think they're running? Really, you think they're running scared? What do you think they're afraid of? Their own lawsuit? You understand they're not being sued, right? You understand that they don't have any risk at all for anything other than losing the legal fees that they're using to pursue Justin Baldoni. Do you understand they're the plaintiff, right?
Yep.
And he's the defendant, right? Do you understand that as the defendant, Justin Baldoni had his cross complaint thrown out of court? You realize that, right? So she's not running scared. She's running toward him.
Yeah, that's a fantasy.
He's the one that's either running or hiding or just whatever, or standing there taking it, because when he tried to come back at her, he lost, and he lost laughably. I'm so surprised you haven't figured that out. It's really simple. Let me put it this way, right?
It is.
Blake Lively sued Justin Baldoni.
Yeah, she has the upper hand.
She has the upper hand. And then he filed a cross complaint quite lavishly and bombastically, but nonetheless he filed that, and I got thrown out of court on its meritless basis. It had no merits.
They're also trying to spin that too. They said that it was thrown out on a technicality, but it literally wasn't. The judge was really clear that they didn't have enough evidence to prove to support any of their claims.
Well,
and then he was like, okay, well, maybe you guys have contract claims if you show me a contract, and then they didn't do that, so they lost those too.
What he said
He was like, I would like to see evidence of any of this, and you have had multiple opportunities to show me any evidence of any of your claims, and there hasn't been, so you don't have a case. That's...
Well, it was a little different than that, because there was a certain amount of it that was a technicality. But what he did was
Right.
he had a footnote to the technicality, which was now there's no point in asking for an amendment to this complaint, because even if you remedy this technical issue, you don't have any basis of fact to change my decision. There's nothing you're bringing to the table that proves your case at all. So you're losing on a technicality, and you have nothing. So don't even bother trying to reapply.
Those of us that read Justin Baldoni's lawsuit and all of the other documents that he provided on his website and the timeline document and everything, we all said this too. Like they kept providing evidence, so-called evidence, and it would either refute their claim,
Yeah.
or it just have nothing to do with their claim whatsoever. So like I was like really looking for a time where Blake Lively deceived somebody, where she made a threat, like they claimed so many times, where she was doing anything that could be seen as extortion. It was missing. So
I'll tell you what.
I don't know why people are confused about it.
I'll tell you though, I am baffled. I can't make sense of, especially they said something like that they got what they needed, but they didn't see any evidence. So
Can you be more specific?
Yeah, let me be specific. So I'm completely baffled by why she subpoenaed these content creators and then withdrew the subpoena before getting any evidence from even one, unless the evidence was already given. But we know that Google set a date for the 31st of this month as a deadline for any orders to quash, any motions to quash, which had to be filed and then served to Google or shown to Google for Google then to refuse or mitigate whatever they give to hand over to Blake Lively. So I don't understand why they did all that. What was the song and dance here for?
I don't know either, and it's not their job to tell us. But what I think might have happened is that a lot of the content creators submitted motions to quash where they admitted to communicating with the legal team on Justin Baldoni's side. And so I feel like maybe she was like, thank you. That's what we needed to know. Everybody needs to remember that these subpoenas were to find information that helped Blake Lively understand what the defendants were doing. They care so much less about what the content creators were doing. They want to know what the defendants were doing with the content creators.
The only thing that makes sense to me is that they somehow got a hold of the Wallace stuff that they needed, which already showed the communications to the subpoenaed. So that's the only thing that makes sense to me is that the only thing that would make sense to me, if it's not intimidation, Nikki T is suggesting that there are lawyers out there who are saying that it was intimidation by her. And I don't believe that for a second. She knew immediately, and they knew immediately.
There's no effect of that, though.
She knew immediately that as soon as they filed these subpoenas, that they were going to be, chattering like crazy.
Like,
about
look at who is intimidated. Everybody's talking about it.
Yeah, exactly, and they
literally,
knew that would happen.
You can't point to one who was intimidated. They're just saying that she intended to intimidate them, but it didn't work.
They called themselves whistleblowers and then went on tour.
I don't understand why they're thinking that she has any motive that they can't apply to the result, right? Like, you weren't intimidated, so why do you think she was trying to intimidate you? Like, it just makes no sense. If it didn't have a chilling effect, if these people are talking more now than ever, if they're getting more followers than ever, then certainly you can't attribute any intention on Blake Lively's part. Like, she's not telling you guys, so everybody's just guessing.
Yeah. This is the point. It's like you're left guessing because...
Oh, this is lovely. So Nikki T said freedom of speech. I think it's really important to understand that the First Amendment...
In all caps, no less.
Yeah. I know, that's why I noticed it. Freedom of speech applies to the First Amendment protection from government interference in your speech.
Yeah, it's just silly.
Blake Lively has nothing to do with whether the government is keeping you from speaking or not. So,
or any ability to stop anyone from speaking.
It's not freedom of speech. I mean, we all face consequences of our speech. If I said something really stupid or defamatory, I'm responsible for that. That's not an infringement on my rights,
No, freedom of speech is not an issue here. This has nothing to do with any of that. This has to do with whether or not sexual harassment occurred on that set, which I think is going to be an easy proof. And we're gonna come out with that episode hopefully very shortly. I finally got, I think, my audio set, so I'm just getting my technicality set because I really want to produce a good video. And but we're gonna go over that because I think she's gonna have an easy proof of sexual harassment as it relates to the Civil Rights Department guidelines for sexual harassment, not based on my opinion or your opinion or Nikki T's opinion or Nikki T's people's opinions, but based on the Civil Rights Department's guidelines for what constitutes sexual harassment and what she claims and what the evidence already shows without even getting into testimony. So I don't think that they're going to have any trouble proving sexual harassment. I don't think that the kind of sexual harassment that they'll prove is going to be the kind that would land them any kind of severe judgment. I don't think it ever would have. Do you know what I mean? But the retaliation, and this is what her entire motivation for all of this is because she filed a complaint and they retaliated. It's not that she filed a complaint or that she was obviously turned off by the way that they behaved. She never wanted to work with them again. There was a lot of issues there that they had that all kinds of us experience in our own other workplaces. This workplace is no different than whether you're working at a fast food restaurant or a corporate or a Fortune 100 company. You're going to have situations where people don't like to work together and where they can't come together ever again and work together well. This is the situation with those two. It doesn't matter whether or not we agree or disagree with whose side of the story, or it doesn't, none of that is relevant to the dispute. The dispute isn't about that. If Justin Baldoni just shut his fucking mouth and didn't hire somebody like Melissa Nathan, who then turned into this network of hate toward her, if they didn't create such a vile attempt at smearing her name and were also so successful at it, absolutely none of this happens. The worst that happens to Justin Baldoni is he's faced with sexual harassment charges, and then he just has to answer them, just like everybody else who's accused. And then you go through the court process and you answer them. But that's not what happened. What happened was she filed sexual harassment, and it doesn't fucking matter what people think. I don't care if people agree or disagree with her filing. None of that matters to the problem here.
It doesn't matter to the CRD either.
It doesn't matter to the CRD, and it's not going to matter to a jury when they're instructed how to interpret the law. Because the law is clear here. You can't retaliate if I file a complaint against you. You can have an investigation on the complaint. You should investigate the complaint. You should find out where it's coming from, what merits it has, and you should also figure out whatever remedy is necessary for that complaint to be rectified and handled appropriate to both the law and to the health of your own, environment, your work environment, right? That's not what they did. They retaliated. And that is the problem that we have here. And this is why, if Blake is lying, Nikki T, why did Judge Lyman throw their case out and keep Blake Lively's case? You're literally delusional. You're not paying. You're so blinded. I just want to speak to you directly for a second, Nikki, because you're blinded.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
It really does destroy his credibility as this feminist, this man who's trying to take down toxic masculinity. When you look at the company he keeps.
Yeah.
Right? Like all of the content creators that Tag did name, right?
Yeah.
Perez Hilton, Andy Signor, Candace Owens, and Billy Bush.
Yeah.
Every single one of them is anti the feminist, the feminist education space that Baldoni has been building for the.
They're against equality.
The last.
Let's get the feminist out of it and just say they're against equality. They oppose equality.
It's just really interesting. Like you have to look at whether. So he has been directing his publicists. Yeah. Right? Since he hired them.
Yeah.
And so you have to assume that he continues to direct his publicists and he's working in concert with his legal team because that's what people do, right? And so what is the explanation for why he is okay with these people spouting so much hatred against his former coworker, the person he hired and collaborated with?
Right.
Right?
Yes.
If it's not retaliation for her protected claim of harassment in the workplace,
correct,
which is a protected claim, he cannot retaliate against that.
Yeah.
Then what is the good reason why he's in bed with all of these content creators that are being so venomous
and we're talking about like his attorney going on a fucking press tour with these fucking people, feeding them directly in direct communication with all of these. Maybe when they say they got what they needed, they got the admissions that they needed from the other content creators.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, like, maybe just think for a second. Maybe he's not who you think he is. Maybe he can be read by his actions and not by his words. A little bit, right? This whole time, he has been he's been acting antithetically to the way he's been speaking, and I'm wondering whether that makes him a con man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Justin Baldoni's a con man.
I don't believe he's who he claims to be.
He never was.
If he's okay with this being his team, then he cannot possibly stand for the same things that he claims to stand for. Can't. Like, it's so easy to be on the other side when you see the company he's keeping on his.
It's the easiest thing in the world. Well, look, it's real easy and for me, and it was just easy to just like, well, for me, it's real easy because I actually, from Hollywood, I spent some time, not from Hollywood, but I spent time in Hollywood, right? I made movies. I worked with some of these people. I've been sued, right, by giant movie stars. I've been in a dispute where a movie was actually taken from me, right? And prevented, blocked from being distributed. So I actually lived this as opposed to this fictional idea, like this Nikki person who's just dominating our chat. She's screaming, that she tried to steal the movie, and it's just the most ridiculous thing. It's like, just so stupid.
Explain how.
It's void of intelligence.
You can't.
I think
it didn't happen.
I think I'm with Delicate on this. Delicate's like, it's so obvious she's a paid shill.
Yeah, of course.
Who's coming
Being
here to
this active in the chat, like, this is weird behavior. Like, either you got to settle down because you know that you're acting strangely, being so fired up about this, or you're a bot. Like, there's just no other way.
She's like, read the documents. I've read them all, dude. I've read them on this live.
Do you see how the effect is a distraction, though? And this is the point.
Yeah.
Jed Wallace wrote it, right? He said this is what Melissa Nathan wrote it in she called this the social combat plan, right?
Yes.
Where they go to accounts, they go to content creators' spaces where they're friendly to the opposition.
Right.
And then they try and just destroy the conversation. Right?
Exactly.
It's exactly this tactic.
Yes.
And so I just don't believe that this is a genuine person.
No, I don't believe this is a genuine person either.
Because I saw the document where they say that this is their plan and this is what they plan to execute on behalf of Justin Baldoni. Which he's fine with, by the way, which makes him not a nice person.
It's so funny because she's like,
I mean?
This person called Nikki called Judge Lyman a joke. And it's just like, and he's still going to preside over this case. He's still going to rule on this case.
Yeah.
And the only reason you'd be fucking singing his fucking name to the fucking heavens if this guy ruled once in your guy's favor. It just shows your bias. Your bias is so obviously clear.
This isn't a real person that you're talking to.
No, you're right.
You're arguing with the social combat plan.
I forgot.
You know what I mean?
I'm sorry.
Should I pull up the document? Do you guys want to review?
No, we don't really need to because you're right. I don't want to fucking, it's true.
You guys want to review the 4-page document that explains this entire tactic by Melissa Nathan?
Yeah.
Sent to the Wayfarer parties?
Is them showing up and making this fucking nonsense up.
And how they spent $30,000 a month in order to implement this?
Yeah.
Like, this isn't fucking for real.
It is wild to see it happen in our own chats, and it's wild to see it happen in the content that we created back in the day for TikTok. And it discouraged me. Like, right now I get intimidated by it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I get intimidated, like not intimidated by it, but like, because it does tilt me a little bit, right? Because
you could just block a person.
Well, no, I gotta get better at it, because the reason I gotta get better at it is because I'm living in a world where people like this, or people who are willing to perform like this person is performing, right? Not necessarily somebody, but
I know if this is a person like Nikki T, are you trapped in the Florida Shuffle? Like, are you made to do this labor because from people who are exploiting you?
Are you rehabbing right now and getting like exploited? Is that what's going on?
Yeah. Right.
So it's just, she keeps repeating herself right now. She keeps screaming about the fucking, turning off the comments because they don't want to hear from you.
They must have like a clipboard in front of them or something. Like it's just like randomized. Like maybe there's an app where they just like keep tapping it and it randomly submits like the approved.
They go on like
approved sayings.
They go on big Zoom calls and they get like PowerPoints for their talking points. Like, say this instead of this. This is far more effective. We're gonna boost your content. Anyway.
Bot farms, bro. Who knows?
King Gator says, "Talk to us, the ones who have some sense. I come here for your analysis, not to fight against." Yeah, you're right.
That's right.
King Gator, you're on, bro. I'm with you, bro. You're right.
King Gator is 100% right about everything.
No, 100%. Listen, 100%. This is, and well, it is interesting to see this play out in the comments. And I do need to I get tricked so easily, and I just have to get better. This is a part of my growing. And I get to grow here like live on this channel, and that's pretty cool because I've been beaten up by these fucking bots, and I've been beaten up by these people who get hired, because Toby and Leo have fetched these people off on everything that's gone viral on me.
Yep.
Whether it's the New York Post, whether it's Andy Signor's stuff, whether it's my TikTok stuff, they show up in droves. They make wild accusations that don't have any fucking viability or any proof, and they also like do things like say incendiary things and whatever, and I fall for it. And
yeah,
I need
let me
to get
tell you
better.
about this one today. This was a ex-patriarch screenshotted this. I thought this was really interesting. Oh crap, what did I do? I guess I don't have it. And
obviously people don't, that's Delicate saying like that Justin. Delicate is saying that Justin is obviously a grifter, and I just it's just so completely obvious, and it does shock me that so many people don't see it, and it's discouraging, isn't it? Like a little bit, at least. Like for me, I find it even disturbing at times, because it's just I want to come back to, I want to at least, this is going to sound weird. I would be happy with just returning to the delusion that more people are sane than are actually sane.
Okay, look, so
like I just remember the good old days of not knowing that these organizations and these people who thrive in them, or whatever the word might be, existed.
No, you don't understand.
My ignorance was bliss.
You don't understand. This is like we've been skeptics, right? Have been warming the bench.
Yeah.
Right? We've been like sitting back and being like, okay, cool, you guys don't want to hear our skepticism. That's fine. Everybody wants to be cool and like enjoy things and like not criticize anything for too long. And now's our time to fucking shine. Now's our time to fucking get in the game, right? Like this is skeptics fucking wonderland right now.
Yeah.
Everything needs to be scrutinized. Everything you see on social media, you have to like apply you put it on your skeptic hat, which is, made of tinfoil. And then like
to a point.
Yeah.
It's a little pointy tinfoil.
And then you just make sure that you scrutinize everything. You have to be skeptical always, because everything is being manipulated. This today was, ex-patriarch posted this.
Okay.
This person posted the exact same thing from an account where she's called Patty. And
D's or T's?
She posted
D's or T's?
Patti, like Patricia.
Okay.
She posted the exact same thing literally a dozen times on all these different, she was following all these content creators who we know are pro Baldoni.
Right.
So this is what they're talking about in the social combat plan, where they find content creators, they say something nice, and then they boost it. Okay, do you remember that?
Yes.
Where they're talking about that was their strategy to boost
of course.
Baldoni friendly comments.
It's what they did to,
so this person,
what's her face?
Yeah, they said this.
The Kristen Flaw, her Kirsty Flaw.
Kirsty Flaw, yeah, her video. Okay, so this person said this a dozen times verbatim. It was copied and pasted, okay? I barely knew anything about Blake Lively until this ridiculous lawsuit. Her actions have proven her to be a scheming and manipulative person. I can't wait to see her get her just desserts. Again and again and again. A dozen times. You know what I mean? Like, nothing you're seeing from any of these people is real. Patty probably doesn't even exist. Why would anybody behave that way? Copy and paste that exact same.
That's the part again that I just have to remember.
Nobody feels that strongly about Blake Lively and her just desserts.
Oh, even
nobody.
Like this Nikki chick. Like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, you can see me go off on it, but I go off on it for a different reason.
Shouting about shit in a fucking
in a chat?
It's impossible.
It's weird.
I feel really strongly about this case because of my involvement with you, who has been through a Hollywood smear campaign.
Yeah, well, you've seen me completely disabled by it's such a different thing, because like people don't understand, like, maybe some who've read the book will have a closer idea, right? Who've read my book, right? If you've read my book, then I've been through it, and that's just what I put in the book. That's not even through, that's not even.
But I'm saying I don't even behave this way. Right?
No,
I don't go around.
I'm justifying my behavior. I'm saying, I've been put through it by what people want to refer to as whatever a fucked up Hollywood.
Yes, what I'm saying is you don't go in a comment section of the other side like Nikki T is doing.
I've never done it.
And argue with people like this.
No, this
isn't normal behavior, guys.
People have suggested me to
real,
do that.
It doesn't exist.
People have suggested that I do that.
It's not a thing.
You should go and comment. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. First of all, I'm not going to make my life this. I'm going to make that. I love this channel. I love what we're doing. I love the people we're doing it with. I can't wait till we open up to the subscription side so that we can gift subscriptions to all of the guys who started this channel with us, so that they all have, all the accolades that come with, giving us, our start in this channel. But, my interest in this case is about my personal interest.
So, you guys in the chat who are argumentative, I'm just not going to address any of your comments. So I'm sorry that you're talking to the wind, because I'm not in the mood for that tonight.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to Nikki T, and then this person Leo, who is trying to argue with us about stuff. Like, I'm just not going to address it. So you can go someplace else and enjoy your night, but I don't find any use for that.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to pay attention to anybody who's going to be delusional about the conversations. If you want to try to have a smart, cool conversation with me about this, I'll have it all day long. The truth is that I don't know that there's anybody who can. And the reason is because there's not many arguments that can be made that have any reasonable basis in fact if they're supporting Justin Baldoni in this situation. I think the evidence, and when I say that I think the evidence speaks like clearly, I'm talking about Justin Baldoni's submitted evidence on his website.
Yep.
I'm talking about reading his own document and seeing that the writing is very
His
clearly.
defense
His defense
is her. How do you say it?
Yeah.
His defense makes her claims.
Yeah, is her litigation. She is. It's going to be her judgment. We said it
So stupid.
when he published it. It was like we stopped reading stuff from her and only read when we were arguing with these people who might come up and start pounding the table. We would be reading only from his document because his document clearly showed that his case was going to get thrown out. Like, we knew it then. It was only a matter of time. When it got thrown out, I had people showing up on this channel, both in YouTube and on TikTok, saying that we predicted it. And it wasn't hard to predict. We're not seers. We saw the truth for what the truth is. It's the funny part about all this, and this is why I'm like, there is no true engagement with the Baldoni side of things, because they live in this world where they want to bring nothing but fire, venom, vitriol, not logic, not common sense, not truth.
Nobody seems to have accepted that his case was thrown out, and he cannot make those arguments in court anymore.
It's a wrap. They come here.
Like,
and
I
they
don't
say,
want to hear anymore that she stole a movie, because literally she didn't. He still owns the movie. She gained nothing from any of the work that she did. She only enriched Wayfarer. But also those claims got thrown out. So he can't even argue that in court. It won't ever amount to anything. So, he should have chosen a different argument.
Yeah, it's hilarious to hear people show up and say stuff like,
like she stole the movie.
That he'll win. The only thing he can do is defend himself. There is no winning for him.
How's that said? Like, he can't win. He just won't lose.
Yeah.
Sorry,
well,
so
the way I would put that is that the truth will come
defendant-
out. The truth will come out in the trial.
Okay, but if the defendant wins, that's considered a win, right?
Yes, I guess. Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he can win.
Prevail is yes. I guess he can win. Yes.
My question for you is: do you think, since you know so much about this case and you've read literally everything they've put out,
pretty much,
what do you think will prevail after? Like, what do you think will continue to trial after the summary judgment?
Well, I think you think that some of this could go to trial.
I think a summary judgment doesn't just judge on the entirety of the case; it judges on each element. So I think she has 17 claims, maybe 16. Causes of action. So each one of those are going to be judged. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering whether you think that any of it will go to trial.
I think if she gets a summary judgment, she'll get it across the board.
Oh.
I don't think the judge is going to issue or the summary judgments that he might give might be inconsequential in terms of the lesser, the lesser claims. But it's too hard for me to predict. That's way too tied up in the legalese. I think there's a chance this case goes to summary judgment because his case is so utterly weak. There might be, there might be some reluctance both from the judge and certainly from Blake Lively's side, because a summary judgment gives these people all the crying they need to try and prove there's something
bias
amiss and that Lyman is a bad guy. So I'm hoping
some bias of the federal judge.
Yeah. Now it's his job, Judge Lyman, to issue a summary judgment if it seems as though it'll be a waste of taxpayer money. Part of what a summary judgment is there for is to not burden the taxpayer with frivolous lawsuits, ostensibly. I mean, this wouldn't be a frivolous suit, but or with lawsuits where the outcome is certain, is all but certain, right? Or no, certain. In the judge's eyes, the outcome is certain. If the judge believes that there's, based on the evidence and the instruction by the court, that there's no way that Blake Lively can lose the case, then he'll issue a summary judgment. I heartily doubt he would issue a partial summary judgment in the case. But that's just me being a layman and throwing a random guess out there. I have no legal basis for that whatsoever.
Would you like to hear from the chat?
Please, yes, all the time. Somebody's telling me to move my book, CM, but I don't know where to.
Because your book is behind your head?
No, they're on TikTok and it's like perfectly framed.
Yeah, so is in YouTube also.
Do you want me to look handsome?
When you sit back in your chair, you kind of do the same pose as your book cover.
It's good that my head's like a cloud moving in and out of the book.
Dale, do you want to hear from the chat or
Yes,
not?
please.
We were talking about the, people pranking their family members with celebrity passings.
Yeah.
And about a certain celebrity we were discussing earlier, Nadine said, "I have champagne on ice ready to go." A certain celebrity.
I just like, and it's like media's trying to make me feel something for this guy, and I'm like, you're not gonna fucking do it, dude. I know what he is. I heard what he said. Mm-hmm. There's no room in my list of like favor for somebody who dropped the N word.
Oh no.
Oh, who are we talking about?
Oh, I was just not gonna name that person. We can move on.
Was that the guy though?
No, you're talking about Hulk.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
I was not.
Somebody.
I was talking about somebody who hadn't passed yet, that we're all eagerly anticipating passing. Back to the chat.
I fucked up.
Erica's being very complimentary of me. Thank you, Erica. I'm not going to read it, though, because I will blush.
No, you can't do that.
No, I'm going to tell you later.
No, you can't do that. Now I got to go look for it. What a dick.
Claire said, "My best friend is reading your book. It's really addictive," she said. Very long, but very readable.
Oh, that's so great. It is. I guess it's long.
It's thick in size.
Yeah.
It's thin in, no, not thin.
Oh my God.
It's quick. Thick but quick.
Thick but quick is pretty cool. Well, I'm so glad your friend is enjoying it. I'm sorry that it's thick. I really, you know what? I'll tell you what, man. I tried to end the book on me and RD on the porch. Like, that's where I wanted the book to end.
And I wouldn't
at first.
let you.
You wouldn't, and you were right. Like, you were like, it can't end there. And I was like, well, I'm going to see if it can. And so I spent 2.5 years or 2 years after that crafting,
Dale
everything.
was just being chicken and he didn't want to write the hard part.
Well, that's absolutely not true. But I just like, I nurtured the book up to the porch scene. If you've read the book, it's me and RD. We're sitting on the porch. All is lost. And very European kind of ending. Mm-mm. It was too much of it didn't work. So I had to finish the book.
Claire is also asking, would you ever send your book to Quentin Tarantino? He seems to care a lot about indie cinema and might be able to set Leo straight and help to mediate the situation.
I don't suspect he would give a shit. It's all about my book finding its way organically to people. You know what? Here's what I know. I know that of all the sales we've made, and we've made 4 figures sales. I won't get into the total numbers, but we're doing okay. We're trucking along. We're doing better than most independent authors by a wide margin, which I'm very proud of. But sorry, I'm not proud. Fuck it. Anyway, we're. I think it was like 60% of them are California bought books.
Oh.
Like I looked at my stats.
Oh, and you're like,
geography.
It's Hollywood.
Hollywood's buying the book up. So this book is going around Hollywood right now. So Quentin Tarantino may have already read it. I'll let you know if he calls.
Does he have your number?
I'll give you a code name though, because he probably won't. So we'll later, he won't see this. So we'll make the code name OLED. It'll be like OLED has reached out to me. That's
Isn't
Quentin
his middle
Tarantino.
name like Jerome or something?
Is it really?
Yeah, he's got a really super cool name. So he could just go by Jerome. He'd be like, my friend Jerome in Hollywood.
Quentin Tarantino's, I didn't know this. What? I mean, Quentin Tarantino is such a cool name. What is Quentin Tarantino's real name?
I love your keyboard. It's so funny. It's like straight out of the 1980s.
Oh, his middle name is Jerome.
Yeah.
Jerome's the name.
Isn't that
then.
what I said? His middle name? That's what I meant.
Oh, is that what you said?
I don't know. We'll have to roll back the tape.
My head's broken all the time.
King Gator said about these content creators that got subpoenaed.
Oh no!
What?
Crazy GMA said that their mother bought a copy of my book for their birthday yesterday, but it got delivered to the wrong place. Oh God! Well, I hope they read it. Maybe they'll read it and send it to you real quick. Well, I hope you get it very quickly, and if you don't, get back to me if there's any problem, and I'll sort you out for sure.
That's great.
If there's a problem with you getting your book, come back to me and I'll sort you out. Unless you live in a place where the shipping will, where we have to send planes, and I guess that's everywhere. What?
I was trying to tell you that King Gator was talking about the content creators
Yes.
that Blake Lively subpoenaed.
Okay.
Said that overreacting is lucrative.
Yeah, it is.
It's really funny.
It's a really great. It's a
because
really
it's
great
true. I think
phrase.
that this is one of the things that's so exhausting about social media is that everything is overblown. You know, I think like the whole like, oh, you have to react really big on your thumbnail, right, to get clicks. That seems to have permeated throughout everything that a lot of these people do. Like nobody is having like an authentic, like thoughtful, you know, pensive time thinking about anything.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I think you're right. I think
it's all
there's
reaction
like a deprivation
and it's all
of it.
hostile and like intense and.
Well, because everybody's looking for
I worry about
clicks.
everybody's like blood pressure, you know.
Hey, I'll give you a good example, right? I put every time I put Blake Lively on the thumbnail, we get hundreds of people.
Yeah, you get these fucking bots here too. It's crazy.
It is what it is. We get hundreds of people though, right?
Yeah.
Which is good for the channel, like as far as trying to get the channel going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it can be a little annoying, but it's good for the channel, even if our watch time is
So they're
in
helping
the toilet.
you. That's great.
But they are helping me exactly. But when I take Blake Lively off the thumbnail and I put like whatever, like you know, whatever it is, right? Could be Ozzy Osbourne passing or whatever. I can barely get them. The cool thing is that once we actually start putting out content and we start building our community, and thumbnails aren't, and I don't have to worry about thumbnails to try and build the community as much.
Yeah.
And the community is building the community, which is, we're getting there. Like these guys have helped us grow so much.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
We just got a hat. I just got a hat. Thank you for the hat. You know, we get treats from people. We got likes and treats and treats and likes and likes and treats. It's really cool. I hope Jerome reads it, says Nadine. It's good to see you, Nadine. By the way, you weren't here, but I did cover a little bit of Zach Brown's situation with his ex, and I'm gonna keep covering that. I'm gonna keep watching that. It's a terrible situation that they're in. Anyway, I'm sorry for that quick digression, but it just goes to show you, I mean, people want this shit, you know? They want the controversy. That's the point I'm trying to make, is that I'm sitting here, you know, trying to build this little channel, and what we're getting is like, you know, a big bump when people want to get the knives out.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank Erica and Delicate for doing their part to battle the bots a little bit for us. It seems like they did a lot of arguing.
Who?
Erica and Delicate.
They beat up the bots?
Yeah.
Go get them. Sick them. Yeah, well, look, fuck the bots, you know?
Yeah, King Gator said some of these commenters are broken records. It does. It's so tedious, you know?
Yeah, it's not.
That's why I can't imagine that it's real. Because why would you get all fired up and like go keyboard warrior over some bullshit like
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's like less, you know, broken record and more talking point. You know,
Yeah.
they're just sitting there hitting their talking points that they get paid for, and then, you know.
Nadine said also certain types of speech are not protected. This is true.
That's correct.
Violence, threats, defamation, and obscenity.
All are.
It doesn't save you from the consequences of your words. Also, protected from the First Amendment still is only in reference to the government's impeding on your free speech.
That's correct. And by the way, there are some specifics there, but you can actually say it, and you just have to suffer the consequences of it. There's no laws against you saying anything. There are just going to be consequences for what you say in that respect. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, because what you say is going to be measured against its intent, its veracity, and then the results that it, you know. So if you're spreading fallacies, and those fallacies are causing harm, both reputationally and financially, then liability may be, yours.
Yep. This username is Troller Troll.
Oh, I like that.
And so I read that, I was like, oh boy, here we go. But it's actually really sweet.
Yeah, I like Troller Troll already. As soon as you said that, I was like, that sounds like a friend.
Said, I love watching and listening to your perspective. Agree with you both. Thanks for the videos.
Oh, you're so fucking awesome. Thank you for coming by. I don't even know if we've met. And I'm just glad that you come and hang out with us. That's really kind of you. I hope we keep, I hope we keep growing. I hope we learn to speak in this process. That's stuttering. But thank you. Yeah, I mean, Angela we used to just sit on the couch and yak, and decided like, I'll just share some of what we're saying, with the world. Actually, I came on to promote my book. I mean, literally, and then Angela was like hovering around helping me do that. And we just ended up like talking to the people that we were hanging out with, and we were like, I guess we do this now. Better set up some fucking cameras. And
I would be like in the hallway, like walking by, and I'd hear you be like, what's that word? And I'd be like, just
proliferation.
I was like, he needs me.
He needs me. I need you so much. Every day I need you.
Claire said, I hate spiders in my bedroom. It makes me so upset.
Oh, let me try to dispel what upsets you. If you have lots of spiders in your bedroom, they're protecting you. If there
It's
are
your own personal little insect army.
There are rare instances where you might have a spider infestation, and there are only certain breeds that do that, like the brown recluse, and you would know if you had that. That's a different thing. But if you have like a lot of spiders, meaning spiders in your windows and in your corners or whatever, they're helping you.
Yep.
You get rid of them spiders, you're going to find different bugs in your house.
Yep.
So my recommendation is to keep spiders. They're really great. They're our friends. In the South, we have southern house spiders, and they get pretty big.
They're so gnarly looking.
They also live for 4 years, which is so neat. So when we see these elders in the window, like they're elders. We've been in this apartment now for like 7 years. So we're on our second generation, our full generation of southern house spiders. We love them. We protect them. We see them. We make sure that they get wherever they got to go safely. And what we don't have are almost all the other critters we don't want. We don't have like the little mini centipedes, and we don't have a lot of the earwigs.
Yeah, the super creepy ones all got replaced by really nice
spiders
big,
in the windows.
fat, well-fed spiders.
Yeah.
That don't bother us. So if you have spiders in the bedroom, just trap it in a little cup with like a little card under, shoved under there. Be careful not to hurt their legs. And then you just place them into a corner or by like in the windowsill or something, like where they are just going to happily make a little home and not bother you.
Now, if you live around spiders that can deliver medically significant venom, then you should
learn to identify them. Yeah.
You should definitely learn to identify them so that you know what you're picking up.
Yeah.
If you live in the United States, there's only a very few number of spiders.
Yeah,
that
none of this
qualify.
advice applies to if you live in Australia, because everything there apparently tries to kill everybody. So
If the spider is as big as your hand,
I have no idea.
Leave it alone. Almost all spiders, like snakes, really don't have much interest in you whatsoever, but for the need to defend themselves. So anyway,
Dale is a friend to spiders.
On and on about spiders, but I love them. And if they're in your house, especially if they're in your bedroom, they're there to protect you. That would make me sleep easy at night, because spiders stay where they are and they just collect the souls of the bugs that would otherwise be walking on my face when I'm sleeping. I don't want that. All right.
It's so cute. You get to know them.
I love spiders. Spiders are the friendliest of friends, man. It's like they're like dragonflies. We allow wasps, most wasps, except the ones that are like, there's a couple of species that we don't allow, but most wasps, especially the ones that build those paper ones,
you don't want wasps.
Yeah, you don't want those guys.
No, they're actually
those
super
the ones
docile. Yeah, and the mud wasps too. There's some that are like really, really nasty, but learn to identify those. You can't do anything about them anyway, man.
Best part about them is they're mosquito eaters.
Yes, they eat so many mosquitoes.
So if you have them around your house, if they're not like big infestations getting into your foundations and stuff like that, and even if they get out of hand, just put on a little bee suit and move them. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, we got Dale a bee suit.
Yeah, I got a bee suit, and I just go and I just put them in a bag and then move them into like the little wooded area next to the house when they get a little too big. But they just hang out outside our windows, and we don't have mosquitoes. We rarely see a mosquito in our house. And that's because those dudes, we got a couple hundred warriors out there being like, what are you doing? Blah, 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 no entry. And they feed on them. It's like, it's a hothouse situation, bro. Hothouse humans.
Yep.
Love it.
Fight bugs with bugs. I knew I could bring up spiders. I knew that Claire could bring up spiders and it would set you off.
I love spiders, man. My favorite picture I ever took in my life is that one I took of that tarantula in Guatemala.
That's on your Instagram, right?
It's on my Instagram. Yes, Janice, spiders are kind. Pretty much all bugs are. I mean, there's some that, you definitely, exceptions to the rule. Termites. Carpenter bees can definitely be dangerous to your property if you're not careful about how you handle them.
Yeah, we had some carpenter bees, and what I did was we had an old bed frame that I had to throw out. We just got a replacement. So I just threw out the raw wood, and they've been using that instead of harming the house. Sometimes you can just make a better home for them, and then they'll leave the bad, the unpleasant behavior alone.
Yeah, the carpenter bees got into that space. They dug their little butts in there. You can see their little butts.
Yeah, you can see all like the sawdust that they've made in this like raw wood of this bed frame that I just threw out there, and like they're super happy and they don't bother anything else.
I like trying working with the bugs around us because I feel like they're an important part of the life around me, man. I think they're important. Besides that, when I know that bugs are doing something as beneficial as eating eating like mosquitoes and houseflies. Like houseflies are nasty. They're fucking nasty. They come from nasty, and they are nasty. I don't want them walking on my shit. And guess what eats flies? Spiders. Anyway.
Okay, back to the topic.
Yes.
King Gator said about summary judgment.
Yeah.
I want summary judgment to give Blake some relief, but I want a full trial to set precedents for the plague of smear campaigns and lift the veil on social media manipulation.
I mean, I'm voting for you and
Bravo.
Whatever you're running for.
Yeah.
That is exactly how I feel about this. I don't think this. I think this is one of those cases, and I think this is kind of like the impression to the court, if not the actual words to the court, is this is bigger than Blake Lively, and she knows that, and that's why she's taking it on.
Yep. This is about media manipulation.
And retaliation. They're the two main things that are about this, because in Hollywood, you can't, or any industry, she's representing Hollywood, where we know that not only is inequality a really big problem in Hollywood, but we also know that women are abused, heavily abused and taken advantage of in Hollywood. And, I believe that what she's doing is sacrificial. And I believe it's sacrificial because I believe she understands her shelf life as an actor. And she knows where she needs to go and be. And that is to break down the barriers that are holding her back and holding other women back. And it's so sad to know that a part of that process is unfortunately rooting out people like Justin Baldoni, who will completely like manipulate every opportunity to exalt themselves and their ideals, or the so funny, he kept talking about the female gaze, not even really knowing what the fuck he was talking about, but Justin Baldoni would constantly talk about the female gaze. But all that man has ever done, and anything I have ever seen him do, right down to his fucking engagement video, is the Baldoni gaze. It's always the Baldoni gaze. I don't. There's no female gaze when you talk about
for the engagement video, it would be his. He wanted like an acting reel and was like, this is an opportunity for me to make an acting reel out of my engagement. It's just
the point that his wife made on his own podcast about the video was the engagement video should have been for her.
Yeah,
it was about her.
Right.
It was about him to her. It's not like he didn't have to create a promotion video. 5 reasons why you need to marry Dale Wheatley. Like, that's not what we're doing. Mm-hmm. What we're doing is we're making this video about her relationship to him, whatever. I mean, it was absolutely surprising to me that she was able to like be completely honest on the Man Enough podcast, where she literally criticized him for making a self-centered video aimed at getting her to say yes.
Yeah, and also not reading the room. She said that he did another one of these big public pronouncements of his love for her, and it just made her want to shrink. Like, she was so... She didn't say humiliated, but you know that thing when somebody makes a spectacle out of you?
Well, what he did was he just to give it some specificity, he read this thing he had written.
Yeah, it was like a poem or some spoken word.
So it was
something.
A super self-indulgent bunch of bullshit.
He was like, everybody pay attention in this party, like clinking glasses. Like, I want everybody's attention. I just want to tell you all how much I love Emily. And he did this whole long thing, whatever.
And it's all from his perspective of her, of course, which puts him in the center of attention. And this is where I'm going with this.
So she was like, if you actually knew me, she was saying on his podcast,
right?
She's like, you would know that that's not the sort of thing that I really like. And so it seemed like you were just doing it for you.
See? But more importantly, to your point,
that's such a hard struggle too, because you're like, okay, I should be grateful that this man adores me. I should be grateful that he wants to pronounce his love to me to all of his friends in public. I should be nice. It should be grateful. But like, why is he so dense and not receptive to how I'm feeling?
Yeah.
Like, how come he doesn't care what my part in it is? Like,
Yeah. Didn't he just post
it's just so it's such kind of like a mind fuck where you're like, obviously he's focused on me, but he's not listening.
He posted
So
a
frustrating.
photo of he and his wife for their anniversary just to reminisce about their,
Yeah, just
their-
recently he celebrated his 12-year anniversary with her.
And like, the photo is really him.
I know.
Like the photo, your eyes are on him.
I mean, it's on his Instagram, so maybe he thinks that since he's like got to promote his brand and he thinks he's got to be this, like, continue to be this attractive person on his Instagram feed, maybe that's why he selected a picture that features him more prominently than her. But it does seem a little strange. Like, if it was actually like a message from the heart, like, I adore you, I would choose you again and again, or something like that is what he said. And it was a picture where he looks great.
It looks wonderful, but it's also
She's
like
also in it.
It's also like he's also like the what the eye catch is.
Right.
Like, I just point that out because like
On
every
purpose,
time you do, like, whether it's photography or you're doing something, it's you're always measuring where the eye lands first is to understand what you've got.
Uh-huh.
And if you're posting anything, he knows this. If he's a director, he knows this. If he's actually a true director, and I don't mean that
Do we
facetiously.
sound like we're obsessed with him? Like,
He's the topic of the
I'm
conversation.
not like looking for these things. This just shows up on my social media by other people that criticize him.
I'm covering
and I'm like,
this.
yeah, that's critical. I mean, that's easy to criticize.
I don't know. I mean, if people are going to judge you for knowing
I
about
did
this,
in the very beginning. I did go watch that. He was being accused of SH and retaliation, and I wanted to know more about his wife. And so I went and I listened to that whole podcast episode where she is on the Man Enough podcast.
Well, listen, Angela, I mean, you can go ahead and feel bad about it if you want, but I'm not going to feel bad about knowing what the hell I'm talking about when I get here. I didn't show up here to be critical of somebody that I didn't like look at and consider, what they were saying. In fact, when this story first broke, my immediate first reaction was, so Blake Lively's being a fucking shit, a big, entitled shit, and shitting all over this poor young director's struggling. That was my first reaction to this. I reacted the same way everybody else did. The first conclusion I jumped to was that Blake Lively was the bad person here. And you know what happened? Interestingly enough, Kirsty Flaw's video shows up. I watched the video and I'm going, yeah, that's a really fucking uncomfortable fucking interview. And why would she behave that way? And why was she like, I didn't know any of the backstory. So when you take it in the context as it's presented by Kirsty Flaw and not in the context as it's presented by perhaps Blake Lively or others that were there, or even when I take the sort of the focus that's on Blake Lively and I widen it out and realize that Parker Posey was actually probably the worst of the two in that interview. That's when I start realizing that there's more manipulation going on here than reality.
Yeah. Also, and when you look at how that video showed up again, while everybody else is dogpiling on her, and it was filmed in 2016, and you're like, why are we dredging up old shit as if it's relevant now? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Erica says, I'm not sure why she married him then. And I think there's a couple of easy kind of like low-hanging fruit possibilities. One, he's spectacular to look at, I think. I mean, if I was a woman, I would be attracted to this man physically.
He is good looking. He has an incredible career. When she married him, he was on his way up, right?
It was a ridiculous rise to the fame.
He is like BFFs with a billionaire.
Yeah.
And he's got this whole production company.
So
when they married, that was 12 years ago, so this was before that happened. But he still had all those associates. He's also in the same very unique religion that she's in. So,
well, 12 years ago, he was on that TV show, right?
Their religion is a little bit isolated. Like, they're definitely not isolated.
She's Baha'i?
Yes.
And was Baha'i when they met?
It's not isolated isn't the word. It's like they're like...
well, they're segregated. I don't know what the word is.
They have a community their religion has a community that's tight.
I'm a hack writer, bro.
They know their numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they know the numbers of their religion's congregants in LA County. I saw those numbers. And so I was like, okay, well, this is people who are being like tracked, counted somehow, It's not like some casual thing. So I don't know. I mean, that might have been maybe she didn't want to marry outside of her religion, and here's this rich, good-looking guy who is very family oriented. Maybe she was like very family oriented too. I don't know.
Well, something we also know about him is
he also really adores her and is constantly telling his friends all about it in public, which makes her uncomfortable.
Something else we know about him, if we listen to that phone call that he made to Blake Lively, or we listen to the complaint filed by the gentleman who claimed both discrimination and retaliation when he filed previous to all this, It Ends With Us stuff. when he filed his claim against Baldoni and Wayfair back in 2021, I guess. And that is that Justin Baldoni is very skilled at telling you what you want to hear.
Oh, the Shane Norman lawsuit. Yeah. Where he was like, I went to Baldoni and I was telling him, sharing my grievances. And he was like, this is appalling. You're totally right. I'm going to fix everything. Like, you don't worry. I'm going to take care of it. Don't lose any sleep over this. This will get taken care of. And then he just retaliated instead. Did not keep any of his promises. This is guy's MO, man.
Yeah, it's his MO. And, the religion thing, Erica's responding and saying, yeah, that's right. I hadn't thought about the religious thing. Another thing is that he seemed to be obviously
insular. That was the word I was looking for.
Oh, good.
Their religion seems very insular. There's not a whole lot of spillover with a bunch of other religions. They seem pretty exclusive. Like they accept other Abrahamic religions in Baha'i faith, but they don't seem to accept it like as if it's under one church. Like they definitely think they're right. So I just don't know if you could cross over with other religions very well if you've got that attitude.
What I was going to say was that I think that he was extremely high in the church's hierarchy already, even 12 years ago. I think he was already, clearly he, only a few years after that landed the relationship with Surowitz, who's obviously
trying to make him into like their Tom Cruise. Like Scientology has Tom Cruise.
Exactly.
I think Surowitz was trying to make Baldoni their version of that for Baha'i.
Yeah, the first sort of section in the Horny Growl video series, or the Justin Baldoni series, that I hope to get to soon, is about how he was this golden child. I mean, he had every opportunity, and like it all just worked out perfectly for him. It didn't matter. Like he got on his television series, and his Q rating went through the roof. The women responded to him. That led to the Forbes article, and the Forbes. Let me rephrase that. That led to the TED Talk. And the TED Talk blows up into 50 million views.
That's so massive.
On a topic that he admitted both in the talk and then in the book subsequent to the talk that he didn't really know what he was talking about and admitted that he really wasn't even qualified to talk about it. That he was still too buried in his own toxic masculinity and still trying to get out of that muck, which I would agree with him as regards that. I mean, I think that's most men's problem, is that they're stuck in a cultured, male, toxic masculinity. And so, but it still blew up to 50 million views. And so he had to respond to it because it's this big thing now. And, it's a TED Talk, so that makes him an authority. So what does he do? He writes a book. The book parlays into the podcast. All of these things just are hits, one thing after another. Obviously, he puts out his movie 5 to 1. He has these ways in which are
5 feet apart.
5 feet apart, and he has these ways in which he's like exploiting these things, whether it's his documentaries on people who are suffering from, I guess, fatal disease. Isn't that what that was about? It was like people who were near death.
Yeah, it was terminal patients discussing their mortality.
Yeah, and it worked, which is weird because he has this exploitation that really kind of worked.
It's super interesting because Justin Baldoni and I have very similar astrology.
Yeah.
So there are some things that he does that
That's why I'm attracted to him, probably.
Huh?
That's probably why I'm attracted to him.
Yeah, because we're like the same person.
Yeah.
It's really funny. What I kind of get his artistic, his take, like that he sort of like gathers and aggregates other people's stories and tries to like create a broader storytelling apparatus from that instead of having original ideas and having original creations.
Yeah,
like I'm definitely that way.
Or narrowing perspectives so that
I don't have original ideas, but I know how to collect and organize and like distill concepts from other people into a message that I feel like is more powerful than the sum of its parts.
Yeah, I was just going to say, or narrowing, specific, ideas or situations. Like it's, when you look at cystic fibrosis, is that what it was, or cerebral palsy?
Cerebral
palsy.
Fibrosis.
Was it cystic fibrosis?
That was the 5 feet apart. Probably?
Yeah, so for 5 feet apart, there's that disease is obviously this like big, broad, crazy, horrible disease that has so many ways in which it presents and progresses. And so there's, probably literally thousands, if not more, viable dramatic angles that you could take to tell stories involving this, disease and its effect on the world and the world around either a protagonist with the disease or a protagonist's close, supporting role. But he narrowed it down instead to this really cool, even if it's something he stole from another person, which he was accused of and sued for, and who he had to face against, Brian Friedman, who literally, was the lawyer for this person who accused him of stealing that story. But even if he stole that story, the idea that it narrows down to this, beautiful love story, right, is I think a talent, right? I mean, that's a skill, even if it wasn't his. That's the thing about this fucking this guy. You can't believe anything with this guy.
There was a best-selling book about creativity that was literally titled "Steal Like an Artist," right? I haven't read it, but it was a really big deal where people were like, you don't have to come up with original art all the time. There is no original ideas anymore. You just have to come up with your own spin on something that's been done before. Like being a copy artist is a wonderful way to make a living, right? Like, there's like all kinds of crafts that people create stuff out off of patterns that everybody shares, and they're all unique and wonderful, and I
have a bit of a different view on that,
like adapting a book to the screen, right? Making an adapted screenplay. Like, that's a form of being a copy artist.
It is, but that's different. That's totally different because adaptations are totally different.
It's totally valid. He's being accused of theft, which is not something that people typically approve of.
I have a different view on this. I get a little like edgy around the idea that people like that we're like the writers or everything's been written in a way. Look, I mean, writers work from the same kind of structures that musicians work from.
Yeah.
We have paradigms, we have mythological structure, we have archetypes, we have all these different things that writers lean on or for in terms of creating guidance in the ways in which we express our stuff. So, to say like it's like every song has been written, whatever. I mean, it's just like a writers use all the same tools that have been used since Aristotle began his oration.
I think the message about, Steal Like an Artist is the book I'm referencing, but that's not the only time I've ever heard of this. I think the message is generally like, you will continue to have a creative block if you put the pressure on yourself as a creative person to come up with the most original thing nobody's ever heard before.
Yeah.
So what if instead you just pushed through that feeling and you let it go, and then you could actually start to create again, and that's where your originality will spawn, right? Like,
I totally agree with that.
You have to sort of stoke those embers without putting such a barrier on yourself to become the most ingenuity, the most ingenious author, artist, or whatever. Just like go ahead and create. Go copy for a little while, and then the inspiration will come.
Yeah, it was like one of the things that I think like broke heavy metal in the 80s and was this, and like sort of paved the way for hair bands to leak in and steal the show, was that heavy metal started getting centered around complexity over melody, got centered over like how badass of a guitarist. I
remember that music.
It was like not a great phase, no. Like everybody was trying to get faster and more technical, and lead guitar was like blazing fast, and Yngwie Malmsteen and all these other guys were rising, and all it did to me was it took the emotion and took the passion out of the music, and it replaced it with this really like, regimented playing style that was really like focused on things that weren't melodic, things that didn't like really like resonate with me as a listener. And then all of a sudden like these hair bands came in and just ruined everything, and then fucking Seattle, the Seattle scene popped in, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go with this because all this shit is now broken. And so I think you're making a really fucking great point. And
you just gotta get the cranks moving, like get the gears like rolling, and then like eventually you'll become a creator so much that inspiration will come to you. There's that superstition that your creative insight doesn't come from within you, but it comes from without.
Oh.
As if it's like a gift that's bestowed by some like external spirit. And it is specifically, the belief is that this is specifically a reward that is given to the people who sit down and do the work. So you have to start somehow. You got to sit down and do the work so that you can become worthy enough to receive the stories or receive the inspiration, receive the song, receive the whatever. Because those gifts, those pieces of art want to be brought to life.
They want to manifest.
They want to manifest into this world, and they'll only be gifted to those artists who are capable of bringing them to life. So if you don't show that you're worthy by sitting down and doing the work, doing whatever fucking copy artist shit you need to in order to get there, then you won't ever receive it.
Well, it's so funny if you watch the show Pee Wee Herman as himself, the documentary Pee Wee Herman as himself, you learn that Pee Wee Herman, the character Pee Wee Herman, was really something that his roommate and lover, before he decided that he would go in the closet, hide in the closet as a homosexual man and instead just be sort of almost an asexual performer. Before all that, he was living with this guy in New York. They were lovers, and he came up with this character, which was Pee Wee Herman, not identified as Pee Wee Herman by name, but the character, the gestures, the all that stuff was all this guy.
He attributed specifically to his former boyfriend. He said he would be like, he would eat something and it'd be like, chocolatey.
Chocolatey.
Like that's specifically what he would do. And
yeah.
So I think it had a lot to do with crafting his character. But I don't think that he said that the whole character came from him. It wasn't copied from this guy's.
Well, the point I'm making actually is that it isn't copying.
So
like if I'm sitting in the fucking room with you and you say something genius that I think is wonderful, and then I eventually use that little line or phrase or whatever that you came up with as a part of dialogue in my story, that's what I do as a writer. Like Chuck Palahniuk said brilliantly, he said, if you're going to fucking hang out with me and you're going to say shit that I like, expect it to find its way into one of my books. Yeah. Because that's what artists do. We're sitting here extracting the life around us and reinterpreting it through the lens of, and this idea, by the way, which is something I love and adore. I think there's a point at which you open the ether up and you receive. So you might get this song that was always meant to be, but that song or that story or that movie or that poem, these are things that are brought through the lens that is you, the artist. So in other words, there are versions of them, or the versions of them are made unique by the artist that opens up that gateway. But I also believe, like for example, a memoir. Well, that's my own story, isn't it? So how does that work? How does the ether get involved in my own story, right? Because it's not, sort of beaming a story down to me. So I truly believe that what there is in terms of a creative intervention from sort of the divine, if you will, and I do feel this truly, I do, that I believe that, when I believe songwriters, when they say,
it just came to me.
It just came to me. I didn't.
All at once. I just had to spit it out.
I just had to close my eyes and kind of make it happen.
Yeah.
And I did. I play guitar, and most of the guitar playing I do is noodling. And most of the noodling I do is coming up with these various little melodies that songwriters eventually go and actually work on. And this is what's really important about what I'm trying to say, is that you get these like things that are parts, portions, inspiration, where imbued in them might be the spirit, the center, the theme, the thrust of what it's all about comes in this moment, which might be a single melody, or might be when we watched Paul McCartney write that entire song. Which song was it again? Anyway,
I think that was Get Back.
Eleanor Bixby? No.
Get Back, is that the title?
No, was it? Anyway, it might be Get Back.
Is that the title of it though? I can't remember.
Let's not get lost in it because it deviates from my point, which is that
they said that there's a reason why people catch their inspiration in the shower, when it's like the worst time to catch inspiration because you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you can have like, oh, let me grab my pad of paper and my pen,
Yeah.
They say that it's because, number one, you're not constantly being distracted by your phone and the people in your house and everything else that's going on, like some random TV, a dog barking, whatever. You're in the shower, it's kind of like insulated. But number two, because you have water running all over you.
Mm.
And
it's like a meditation.
A lot of people who are really like mystic types, they recognize that water is a conduit for the spirit communications. I know that sounds so bonkers. I can't even believe I'm saying it, but that's the belief.
People are going to be like, fucking unsubscribe.
No, but that's the belief. I think that I think it's one of the reasons why the tradition of baptism was borrowed by the church, is because when you're dunked into water, when you're covered in water, that you are communing more closely with like the ethereal plane.
Yeah.
I think that if people believe that they're receiving inspiration from some beyond, right, some conduit, some spirit, something. We don't even know the words for it, right?
The
Then-
Akashic Records.
Then the place you would get it is if you're covered in water. If water is casting over you, that's why that's why people get their greatest inspiration. Or like even like you were saying in your memoir, like, yes, this is your story and it's a real story. So obviously this didn't come from without. This wasn't like an inspiration that, you know, a story that needed to be told from someplace else. But I do believe that you were given assistance by whatever that force is.
Well, I know it.
To untangle some knots organizationally.
Well, let me tell you, because I can tell you firsthand what happened. You know, so the most difficult task in writing my memoir, and I think this is probably going to be true for most people, is taking an ordinary life and an ordinary circumstance, even if it's extraordinary by circumstance or by like you know, by centered, you know, content wise, it's still ordinary in terms of telling a story. Like when you know, when you go and you tell something extraordinary that might have happened to you at the water cooler, you know, there's only so much that is interesting and that is engaging and that can hold you down. So how does that turn into fucking this thick ass shit? Like, where does that come from? And so for me, you know, the tapping into the ether, the tapping into the divine inspiration is it's like being imbued by it, right? So it's not about a download. It's about the spirit behind it. It's about like, so my concentration, my focus is on how can I tell this story in a way that is going to be truthful, right? But also deeply engaging and entertaining, right? Because I knew that just dropping Leonardo DiCaprio's name wasn't going to sell books.
Right.
I knew that dropping my problem that I have with them wasn't going to sell books. That in the end, the real thing that's going to sell books is people telling other people that the book was good, that the book was a good read. And then I'm also beholden to the truth, right? Because I'm going to piss a lot of people off. I have the potential of litigation involved here, right? This could become litigious. If it is, I got to be able to defend everything that's in the book. So I have to guard the truth. There's no, you know, there's no unreasonable embellishments.
Think about that. Those of you who have read the book.
Yeah, no, everything is true.
Everything is true.
Fucking true.
No embellishments.
No embellishments. None. Zero embellishments.
Lord.
So how do I, you know what I mean? And, you know, there are obvious things in the book that were like, well, that was easy because, you know, Toby did this nasty thing or Leo did this ridiculous thing or whatever. So that's easy. You had this big dramatic Hollywood story. So that's relatively easy. But if you've read the book, you know that I told my story, the story of Terry and my telemarketing, or, you know, just my own, or the story between me and Bill. And those scenes are just as engaging deeply and inspired as any other in the book. So where does that come from? So anyway, I believe that the divine inspiration, for lack of a better term, is something that, you know, can literally send you a movie, a book, a song, a poem, or it can just imbue you with the spirit to deliver your song, poem, book, and movie in a way that is divinely inspired and then, you know, therefore, you know, creatively desirable.
I really like this theory, right? This like belief, mostly because I feel like it takes the pressure off of the artist. Like, I think that whenever anybody assumes that the genius is within them, that they have to be the genius that creates the thing, I think that puts a lot of pressure on people who want to create great things. But if you instead simply have to make yourself available and like prove yourself a hard enough worker for the genius to visit you, and that it's not actually up to you, but you could just like hope that maybe you can perform well enough for the genius to decide that you're capable.
Yeah, worthy of the task.
I feel like that's a lot less stressful. I feel like not having it come from you and knowing that instead you're tapped into this other thing that you're in receipt of. I don't know. I just feel like it's so much better. Do you see this? There's a gnat.
You got a gnat?
Yes.
Just bugging around. Just
Yes.
That's kind of fun.
I'm sure it's going to end up on the video.
In the if we get some. Do you want to check out some of the comments? By the way,
King Gator,
Mr. Han 58 is back. He said the correct term for feminine gays are lesbians. If
Gays. Female gays are, yes, they're.
If you kept Jerry Swindoll around, you'd know this.
I know. You can't. He said female gaze.
He did actually spell it with a Z.
It's really funny. Gaze, Gays. It's tough. There's no way around it. I wanted to share with you that King Gator said about spiders.
Yes.
This is for Claire, too.
Yeah.
I believe archetypally spiders represent grandmother energy.
Oh, that's actually really interesting.
That's very cool.
I like that a lot.
I know that in mythology, spiders are often great teachers. They teach you strategy and discipline. Because they weave their webs and they wait. So.
Yeah, they're very Saturnian, aren't they?
Yeah, they're also very mercurial.
They molt over a long period of time, and they leave behind that shell.
But
That's
I think
wild.
that mythologically they're usually teachers or tricksters. But most of the time, it's like you can, if you follow them or listen to them, that you benefit. But I don't think that they're ever in mythology. I don't think that spiders are ever seen as negative or whatever the other word for demonic would be, like
Dicks.
malefic. I think that's just a modern thing. Anywho,
I'm gonna look it up right now.
King Gator's on fire tonight. You want to hear this one?
Yes, I do.
So this is about Baldoni's femininity.
Yeah. Okay.
His version of femininity, okay, is women are amazing. They can have babies. He said it comes from his religion. There's no systemic analysis of patriarchy. It's just cheerleading.
It's cheerleading. It's so bad. It's so horrible. It's kind of like the
his
early
version of
stages
feminism.
of things like the early developments of helping people with disabilities, physical disabilities.
Yeah.
Like there were they tossed these bones.
There was
They're
actually King Gator's right about this. There was actually a Man Enough podcast episode about this, where Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath are sitting there and talking to Liz Plank, who graciously is educating these grown men about something that they literally created a podcast about. Like, she should not be the one teaching them this, but they're talking about the concept of benevolent sexism.
Yeah.
Where they say women are amazing or women are smarter than men. That's a really common one. And I
used to participate in this
and they
unwittingly.
don't really understand why that would be a negative thing. Like, why exalting women isn't the goal. Like, why we wouldn't want that. Benevolent sexism.
It's interesting because you can see it in racism too. Like,
Yes.
because I unwittingly participated in all of those things. If you turn around and you say something like, how about that? You didn't go the athletic route.
Oh my God.
Something like absolutely insane
but
like
listen,
that.
let me get instead of you coming up with stupid things to say, let's just talk about what Baldoni said.
No, but I lived in that. Fucking assholes say that shit all the time.
I know this is one of the things that you have to overcome when you become knowledgeable about feminism.
Yeah.
And he had a whole podcast about toxic masculinity and somehow had to be explained to this by Liz Plank. Anyway, It's really funny because their reaction to Liz Plank very graciously informing them about benevolent sexism and why that's not ideal, that maybe we just want to be seen as not the other, but the same,
The same.
If that's okay. She was saying, Baldoni and Heath's response was that, yeah, it was so confusing because you're not allowed to say that stuff. And I thought that was such an interesting tell.
It's a tell.
That they were saying that they were trying to correct their speech because they said they thought they weren't allowed to say it, means that they're only interested in learning about feminism because they want to avoid criticism.
Yeah.
They want to avoid the negative effect of being critiqued about their language and about their worldview or whatever. It's not because they actually are trying to improve themselves to become better people.
No. By the
I
way,
was like, allowed. That's a really interesting word you used.
archetypally, the spider represents themes of creation, themes of patience, as you said,
Cool.
themes of interconnectedness,
Nice.
which makes sense. You weave
The web.
the web, and fate.
Ooh, fate.
Yeah. It embodies both the ability to weave intricate structures like webs
Wait, are you reading AI?
and the power to trap or ensnare. Well, I'm reading off of the Joe Naxon
Oh, okay.
psychotherapies.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
A Jungian therapist.
In
it
various
seems.
cultures, the spider is associated with goddesses, tricksters, and figures who shape the world and guide destinies.
See what I mean? How could you hate a spider?
You fucking nailed it.
Okay, they're creepy because you're confronted with basically a god in your house, okay? You have to treat them kindly. I don't know why anybody's afraid of them. I think they're creepy, and so what I do is I go call Dale to like handle a spider that's in the tub that I don't want to deal with. But if he wasn't here, I would just deal with it and not in like a mean way. I don't know why people want to destroy creatures.
Mr. Han asks, if Tobey Maguire was sat in your window like a spider, but he wasn't being malicious, would you let him stay? I would swat him like a fly.
No, you wouldn't.
I'd squish him. With my thumb.
No,
I'd
you'd
bite my thumb and then I'd squish him.
If he was a spider, you would let him stay because he would be a spider.
He didn't say he was a spider. He said if Tobey Maguire was sat in your window like a spider.
Like a spider, but not a spider?
Yes.
Then you would go find your biggest spider.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, well, then I would just help him into the web that he obviously did not weave
Have your
himself.
spider friend.
Be like, I got you something. Do you ever watch those videos of spiders being fed?
Yes.
By people?
They're the best.
Throw like flies in them and
Have
shit.
you ever fed a spider?
I may have. Yes, I did. Yes,
It
I
feels
have.
very wrong.
I don't like to do it. It's not something
Because like, the little fly that you got by the wings or whatever is like kicking and screaming.
Yeah. Do you guys remember when I caught that fly?
I do.
It was really dramatic.
It was a thrill.
Thank you for sharing your archetypal knowledge with us today, because you nailed the spider archetypes perfectly. I trust you.
Claire has a question.
Hi, Claire. You're awesome, by the way.
If Too Real, your
Yes,
book, your
my
memoir,
book. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
gets made into a TV show,
Yes.
I think that Cole Sprouse from 5 Feet Apart would be good to play Dale. To play Dale?
I'm Dale. Cole, what's his name? Sprouse. There he
Okay,
is.
Claire, you're right about this, but you're wrong about the role.
No, he is good for me.
Cole
actually.
and Dylan Sprouse are twins, and they look very much alike, but not super, super alike. And so one of them could play Leo, and the other guy could play Jay Ferguson, because they're complaining about how they're the same type for a role.
Well, here's the thing. I think they're too handsome for those two guys. I think they should play
Really?
me.
They? Just one?
Well, I mean,
Just
twins,
swap
we
them
could
out.
just hook them both up.
I don't know if they're both still acting.
I made the greatest joke there, and Angela didn't get it.
No, I didn't hear it.
I said, I don't think that... what did I say? Do you guys remember the joke I just nailed? It was so good.
You don't remember.
It was a really good joke. It's embarrassing that you missed
Apparently it was forgettable.
it. It's embarrassing that you missed it. It was a fantastic joke.
Okay. Let's see what's happening on TikTok. Are you all caught up on the comments over there? Let's see.
Yes,
have me on
no. He's not a spider. He's still Toby. He's just Tobey Maguire in your window eating flies that fly in on your window. Well, now you got
Now
me, because
he
now
is a
he's eating
spider.
flies.
Now
Now
he's
he's becoming useful. Yes, I would absolutely keep Tobey Maguire if he was sitting in my window eating flies, and I would take pictures of it and I would say, "Look at him now." There's a fly eating.
You'd put pictures of him on TMZ?
Yeah, Toby eating flies in my window.
You know what's really funny is that in all of his paparazzi photos, he always looks really, like, severely disturbed. Like, he does kind of look like... He always looks like he's having a super bad day. He's always, like, looking at the paparazzi, like...
Yeah.
like, really, really upset. And that's what he would look like if he was in your window and you took a picture of him and put it on TMZ.
I don't think that. I don't think he expected fame to be what it was. You know. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially young, like really voracious. You know, if not rabid fans. You know.
Yeah.
Like, they can be scary people, and they can jeopardize your life. You know, like literally.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want my picture taken from a bunch of some paparazzi crawling around all over the place too, but I at least wouldn't. I'd fix my face, you know. The way that he looks in these pictures, he looks super disturbed.
He does. I hope
That dude's
I hope
got
he's
like
fucking
a
miserable.
fucking darkness, dude.
I hope he's miserable.
He looks like he might be.
You know, short of wishing him to expire from this planet, I have no goodwill toward him. None, zero, zip, nothing. I want nothing bad to happen to anybody periphery in his periphery. You know, I don't want his kids or his ex-wife or anything. I wish them all well. Hope everybody gets, through life safely. But he can fuck right off.
And this is the expected result of when somebody doesn't take accountability for their destructive actions. I don't feel like you should feel bad one bit about wishing him harm.
Because I wish him harm. I just don't wish him well.
He could just take accountability, and then you wouldn't feel that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I just think that, look, after what he did to Molly Bloom, that's when I was like 100% sure of what I had on my hands with this guy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you're like, it wasn't just me. He's this way to other people.
Yeah, he's a horrible human being.
He keeps doing this.
That's right. He has no respect for the people around him. He's a selfish, greedy, fucking horrible human being. And until my dying day, I will express that very sentiment to the world. I don't think he has any redeeming qualities at all. I don't think you can go through that, to be that ungrateful, in life, to come from where he claimed to come from, which was this struggle, to be given all these great gifts and opportunities. But he did, I don't even believe he was given them. I truly believe that Tobey Maguire stole that role in Spider-Man by blocking Don Splum. I believe that. I believe that to this day. I believe that's what led his whole, and I understand that, James Cameron didn't make a movie. It ended up in, Raimi's hands. Raimi claims he picked Tobey Maguire out of his own brain. I don't believe it.
Well, here's the thing about that. Sam Raimi's previous work, right?
Yeah, I mean, some.
Like Bruce Campbell is like a real, like a weird looking actor. He's like a, he's got like comic book looks.
Yeah.
He's very handsome, but it's like he's got such a unique face.
Yeah, I mean, he's more of a unique actor. And like when you put the whole package together, I think you're right.
I think he's awesome. He used to be my answer for who's my favorite actor, and I was just like, oh yeah, Bruce Campbell for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
just
wouldn't
so
be my
entertaining.
favorite actor, but he's a damn fine actor for what he does.
He's a scene stealer for sure.
Yeah.
My point is that Sam Raimi probably was looking for somebody who was unique and a little bit weird for his comic book movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I don't know that. I wonder whether that was ever lost on Toby. I wonder whether he thought that he was the handsome leading man instead of Sam Raimi's choice to play a comic book
nerd.
A comic book nerd, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think they knew exactly what he was because he played what's his name in Inside Our House Rules too, and Homer, and Homer's not like Homer's kind of a quirk,
Mm-hmm.
Although I would have never cast Tobey Maguire for that role.
Of course.
I think it's Homer. Is that the name of that character? Oh, that book. Lovely. What a book. So sad that it ended up. I'm glad that also, I don't think I'll ever watch it. And that sucks because the book I loved. So, oh, my poor life.
That's a bummer. I've read a few of the books that DiCaprio was in just because I don't really like him. So I read The Revenant.
Even before we met.
I really recommend The Revenant, the book. It says a lot more about Hugh Glass's story, like that he was a fucking pirate, that he got his the ship that he was working on got pirated, and then they like basically promoted him to pirate, and then somebody burned his boat down, and he swam all the way into the Gulf of Texas, and then walked up through like hostile native territory. The guy was such a badass before the events of the Revenant film even begin. It's amazing.
Yeah, it sounds like a fun
It's
read.
a really, really
that guy
good
sounds
book.
like a total fucking trip for sure. I wish that I wish he did make. I just think whatever, doesn't matter. I'm gonna just
Yeah, they could have cast somebody
comments.
that actually looked like him, or that was willing to lose like their yacht weight.
Erica said that you were making her nervous because she was like, "Oh, please don't ruin Bruce Campbell." No,
Oh no.
no chance. Angela, like she more than me, like by far. I'm more art house. I'm more like I'm into dramas and I like comedies and I like all that stuff too. I mean, I'm wildly eclectic in I think all aspects of art. But you love the action movies far more than I do.
I love action movies and I love horror movies.
Yeah, you like all that way more than I do. I don't dislike them, but I just find them like, they can be very bludgeoning at times, and they can also like not. Like I just love story, and they can really lack in story.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, there's a place for that.
I love when shit like, what's interesting about that though, is that when horror gets story right, they're the best movies. When action gets story right, like they're the fucking best movies.
I think I like horror movies a lot because they're usually an allegory for a different type of emotion, like one of these sort of taboo emotions, like grief. You know, grief and loss. Like that's a lot of horror properties are about those. Yeah, depression, right? Like, I think there aren't really a lot of great ways for us to work out these feelings of these like taboo. You know, our culture kind of like squashes these conversations down, so we have to recharacterize them as monsters in order to actually like untangle the knots within, you know.
Yeah. Totes. Speaking of totes, did you ever see I Love You, Man?
Never.
I loved it. I don't think it holds up though. I think it's like a bad movie now.
I think we'll have to watch it again to find out.
I loved it. I went and saw it in the theater twice.
Why don't you think it holds up? A bad movie now?
I don't think it'll hold up. I haven't seen it yet, but I can think back about some of the humor in it, and I just don't think it'll hold up.
We'll have to find out.
But Totes My Goats comes from that.
I wish it didn't. I really wish that had never been a thing.
It was a Paul Rudd thing.
Yeah, there are some like inside joke type sayings.
Did you hear slap in the bass from that movie?
That's too
slap
much.
In the bass.
It's too much, man.
Slap in the bass.
It's got to stop.
Slap in the bass. I love that movie. It was a great movie.
Speaking of slap in the bass.
Yeah.
You are a Philadelphia Phillies fan. Did you see the news?
No.
Some guy filmed a couple in the stands of the stadium watching the Philadelphia Phillies game. I guess it was New York.
They were doing the deed?
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Speaking of slap in the bass.
Were they Philly fans?
The guy was wearing a Phillies hat.
Oh no.
I know.
And he's doing it in the stands? They're going to get arrested.
I don't know what happened.
That's indecent exposure at a ballpark of all fucking things.
I saved this for you.
Oh my
Maybe we'll
God,
edit this
Angela.
in. Somebody made a t-shirt.
Oh, no.
I'm just going to show this to you.
Oh my God.
Maybe I'll edit that in if you think it's safe.
Yeah, you can get that in. Oh my God.
Do you want to read it?
Here. Well, I can't. What's that? The fugged?
Do you want me to say it?
Yes.
It's NSFW.
Say it.
Well, you know how the Phillies is spelled with a PH?
Yeah.
So this is also spelled with a PH.
Yeah.
It said, I got fingered at the Phillies game.
Oh my God.
It's a t-shirt.
Oh my, I'm devastated.
Oh my God, it's a graphic
Well, look,
tee.
I don't. It's not. It's that person doesn't represent the Philadelphia Phillies, obviously. And we have every sports organization has really shitty fans, but that is gnarly, dude. First of all, I just can't believe people. First of all, I can't believe a woman would allow that to happen.
Well,
to
that's
her,
how you get.
Just based on the gnarly.
That is how you end up on the sex offenders list.
And it's also how you end up with a terrible infection.
Yes. Yeah.
You're at a ballpark.
I know.
Man, what do you?
Absolutely gruesome behavior from every angle. Anyway, I was surprised that you didn't know this because you're a Philadelphia Phillies fan.
Well, I follow the team. I don't follow their nasty fans doing nasty. I just haven't come across that. I literally don't follow much of the team in terms of because I don't want the scores, because sometimes I'll go watch the game. Like we'll finish here and I'll go watch. I'll go start the game.
I'm so embarrassed
over.
I'm even talking about it. Like I want to be a little bit more highbrow than this.
Oh my God! Well, it's my team. That's why you brought it up.
Yeah.
Oh my God! That gave me a headache.
I'm so sorry. Anyway, so I'm eagerly awaiting the news that they've been arrested and they've got
Erica said he definitely didn't wash his hands beforehand.
Ugh.
I mean, oh my God! I just can't believe. Like, if I was a chick, I'd be like, you gotta get your brain straight, bro.
Is
You're
it
busted.
public lewdness would be the charge?
That would be no, because that would be. I think that's you get on the offenders list for that one. I think it's like
I don't know what the charge is because it wasn't indecent exposure.
Certainly lewd
acts, right?
Yeah, but probably like lewd acts in front of children.
Yes.
That's like a major offense.
I know. That's why they
belong. Did they get arrested?
I don't know. They should have been because
they're gonna be.
You belong on the sex offenders list if you do some shit like that.
Dude,
that's really fucking heinous behavior.
I had a friend. I don't hang out with him anymore, but I had a friend who threw one in his house, not realizing one of his windows was open. Like it was a small window. He didn't know it was open. And he was throwing one apparently.
In his house.
In his house.
In his privacy.
In the privacy of his home. It was at night. So he's having at it, and somebody saw through the window and they called the police, and he's on the offenders list.
What?
Yep. He got arrested.
He needed a lawyer.
He got charged.
He was in his house.
With lewd exposure.
That's weird.
Yeah. Well, apparently he was going to lose.
What?
Because you are responsible for closing your windows if you're going to do something.
No way.
Yes, you are responsible. If you walk out of the shower naked and your windows are wide open and somebody sees you and they complain, at least in the state of California, you can find yourself in front of a judge.
They can't just like avert their eyes from inside your window. Like they can't just like
well, they
not
can, but
look
they can
inside
still
your...
be offended by the fact that it makes sense.
They can't
actually
not like just not look inside your home. That's
it makes
crazy.
sense because you think about creeps and how creeps would
Yeah,
take
of
advantage
course,
of that
but-
if there was like a law that protected them.
Right, but people can also just like look the other way.
There's also
'cause
a
they're
difference
inside their
between-
house.
There's also a difference between a guy standing in the window masturbating versus a guy who's masturbating with the window open.
It definitely seems like the burden of proof should be higher for the accuser in that situation. Like, was he performing for the window?
That's what I'm saying.
Or
He
was
wasn't.
he just doing private acts in his private home?
Ruined his fucking life for like 10 years.
Unbelievable.
Yep. And all he was doing, he was like, dude, I was literally like on my couch and I just like, whatever, I got in the mood and I just kind of went with it because I was like on my couch. He was like laying on his couch, you know?
You shouldn't even have to explain.
And the fucking windows was open. He wasn't even thinking about it.
That's
It
weird.
was like the dark. Well, the thing is that if your windows are open and you're dark, you're not seeing out of them.
No.
So you're not really thinking about, like, you know, it's not like...
I would countersue the peepers who are like looking inside your house and
Well, he's-
observing you naked in
It
your
was in
home.
an apartment. They were on a street.
Okay. Still.
Nasty, right?
I'd be like, okay, well, those people are sued.
That's
Fuck
interesting
that.
because Guilty Angel saying, what about a reasonable expectation of privacy? Yeah, it was a strange situation. And I don't know. I think he might have pleaded down because I think he got a term. I think he's off the list now. I think he had a term, like he was on the list for 5 years or something.
It is really weird though that like people want to do public sex stuff. Like, don't you remember there was like a trend? I don't know. It was like many years ago. There was like this. Ugh, people are so fucking gross. Every one of them deserves to be on the list. I'm very much offended by that sort of thing. Like, do not involve strangers
For sure.
in your kink.
For sure.
Like, that's very, very impolite. You
Yeah.
can have your kink. You can have the weirdest fucking kink
Don't
anybody has
matter
ever
what
imagined.
it is, as long as it's
but
within
do
the
not
realms of the
involve
law.
strangers.
Definitely don't. Mr. Hand said that about Toby, like when he gets angry at the paparazzi, it's oddly relaxing. There are cars coming. Get out of the way.
It's not relaxing at all. It's so tense. I just feel like somebody around him is going to get hurt.
Dude, I'll tell you that when Toby was like being like his self, like I refer to him as Toby being Toby in the book often, he was never an intimidating person. At no point was I ever intimidated by Toby until that night.
What do you mean, like him being...
Physically imposing, or even just like when he's being like I don't want to say violent, but like when he's like...
When you say Toby being Toby, you mean he's just being a dick to people? Or
Yeah, like he's just
being
like
argumentative?
maybe shouting, you know, like the way he was shouting at the paparazzi.
See what I mean? Like, okay, it's so different. I don't know, culturally. You come from a different place than I do.
Yeah.
It must be. Because when I saw that video of him shouting at the paparazzi, I immediately thought about the other person in the car who has to deal with his temper
Yeah.
after they've left,
Mm-hmm.
and however long it takes for him to de-escalate from his fucking frazzled nerves.
Yeah.
He got angry when he could have just managed the situation, and he got pissed and he drove away, and it wasn't anybody else's problem but his and the other person in the car. So like I just feel like it's not a victimless crime. Like whatever, it's not a crime at all, but
I know you're being metaphoric. in
it's
that.
he's people that rage like that have problems that don't just affect them. Like there was another person in that car who had to worry about whether he was going to drive crazy and maybe crash or something.
Yep.
And probably couldn't speak up because they had to manage his emotions. Like that's like abuser shit. Like don't put other people through that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I agree. I totally
I see
agree.
that. So I see that paparazzi video very, very differently.
I can also relate to it. I mean, I've myself struggled when you're dealing with things like depression,
Mm-hmm.
which was my case. It can affect the way you behave, and you can also not really be aware of the effect your behavior is having, because when you're in a terrible state of depression, for example, and I don't think that this sort of effect is limited to depression, it narrows everything you see and the experience you're having. It narrows it right down to your everything relates back to you in that really terrible way. So might be that a paparazzi snaps a photograph of you if you're a star, or it might be that somebody is slow to get out of your way when you're trying to get a parking space, or
You just have a short fuse for stuff, right?
it's not just it's like it's more than a short fuse, but it looks like a short fuse. It looks like, like something irate or something
It's
out
also
of control.
more difficult to recover from a stress event. So when he loses his shit, I mean, I don't know about him, but typically when people lose their shit, they have a hard time coming down. So I don't know how long he like drove angry and made his passengers super nervous about their safety, like anything could fucking happen
Yeah.
on a road in a car,
Do you have the thumbnail in front of you? Can you make sure I covered everything on it before we pack it in? Because I want to make sure I covered everything on my thumbnail this time, just in case I want to
Let me see.
have a peek, will you? I don't have it in front
Blake
of me.
Lively withdrawals.
Subpoenas, yeah.
Withdrawals. I think you spelled it wrong.
Did I?
Yes.
Oh, she went through a withdrawal instead of withdrawal?
Withdrawals. I don't think that's a word. Subpoenas for
I probably autocorrected it.
You gotta consult your editor.
Can you just tell me what's on the thing? Thanks.
Withdraws subpoenas for content creators' Google data. Did you want to talk about that?
We did that.
Okay. Matt Groening gets political.
Yeah, we did
Always
that.
has been. Okay.
No, that's not what it was about. You don't have to correct
He
me.
always has been.
You don't have to
okay?
correct me.
True Matt Groening fans know
What's
this
the
about
next
him.
one, Angela? You didn't write the show, I did.
Fantastic Four hitting big at the box office.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. It cranked, but it's second best.
Pedro Pascal's
so
a big
far,
earner.
But now he's a big earner. Yeah, he's now like not just a famous guy, but he's a big famous guy with a big giant box office attribution as well. Because The Gladiator didn't do great numbers at all, relative to its expense. Gladiator 2.
Mm-hmm.
So
Do
it's
you
a
want to
big
see
deal.
that?
Gladiator 2? Not after what I heard.
Really?
Yeah, it was apparently it's like Ridley Scott really just trying to relive the greatness of Gladiator. I'd watch Gladiator
I
again.
kind of want to see it because Denzel Washington apparently does his like Brooklyn accent in ancient Rome, and I just think that's going to be amazing.
Well, you don't remember what's his name doing it in Last Temptation of Christ?
I didn't.
What's his name? Fucking.
The fucking accents in these movies.
What's his name? Harvey Keitel. He played Judas.
Oh, and he was like,
What's going on here? The fuck, Jesus?
I know, it's really when you're an actor, you can just make choices. And then this shit about Jay Leno, scolding everybody for being political, as if he didn't have a show where he was doing that constantly.
Guilty Angel said that Toby seems like a jerk, and I couldn't agree more. He does seem like a jerk. This is the thing that made me really get excited about, like, just exposing all of this, and in particular him. When I read Molly's Game, which I read the summer it released, and I saw that he tried to make this woman bark like a dog, and then I thought about all the terrible shit that he's done that I know he's done.
What a fucking asshole. Who does that? Who
I was
behaves that way?
emboldened.
What fucking adult behaves that way?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was how many years after you knew him? So he was like fucking what, in his 30s by then? Fuck, dude. That's just inexcusable behavior.
So CC says, all right, well, let me just get some. I got a couple more comments here on TikTok. This one says, this is Mr. Han, and he says, I like the video where his fan gives him the phone and asks him to say hi to various friends and family. And he's like, and now say hi to this person, and now this person, and now that person. And you can tell Toby's just getting progressively more annoyed. Wait, my grandmother, she loves you. She's loved you since she was 80.
It just sounds like a nightmare scenario. But instead of getting angry, like you could just laugh about it and be like, here's your phone. LOL. I gotta go.
CC
you
said,
know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just such a stupid thing to do. Is like, he must be so miserable that he's constantly allowing himself to his peace to be compromised, right?
Yeah.
Like being so on edge like that. It's just like I'm sorry. I lost
rejoicing in the idea.
I can't be articulate after 2 hours.
CC said, that's crazy. Movies made with peeps window gazing, Christmas scenes, etc. Is that wrong too? Oh, because I was talking about my friend. Well, I don't know. I don't know if you can like just you would be talking about like people gazing in from outside. Would that be illegal for them to be peeping in on your
That's
privacy?
what I was saying.
Like a reasonable expectation of privacy, as I think Erica put it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like those people
Or
who
Claire,
peeped should be the ones who were charged. You're not supposed to
very
be
interesting.
You're not supposed to be like, that's a peeping Tom stuff. You're not supposed to be leering inside somebody's house.
CC was like, maybe people should just mind their own business.
That's right.
Seriously, well, I'll tell you a really quick story before I go. So when I was living in Vancouver, just before moving to Los Angeles, one of my close friends in Winnipeg moved out to Vancouver to be closer to me. It was kind of a sad situation. He moved out there and then I ended up booking it to LA. We never spoke after that. He was very hurt. I actually wrote the scene in the book because it was such a tremendously emotionally powerful scene, but it didn't make the cut because of, the length of the book and all. But he had this apartment. And he'd invite me over, and one night, just to hang out, whatever, watch some sports or whatever. So one night he invites me over, and he says, he's like, come over tonight. I want to show you something that's really amazing. And I was like, all right, I'll come over tonight. And I get there, and around 8:00 at night, it's winter, so it's already dark. He says he lives in this high rise, and he walks up to his drapes, and he just opens up his drapes, and he's it's like a downtown scene. And so the apartment across from us is relatively close. I can see everything clearly in the other apartment. The window's open. And so he opens up his windows. And as soon as he opens it up, there's this woman just getting railed in the window. And I'm just moving. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, just watch this shit. It was the weirdest thing.
Wait. He looked at his watch?
Yes.
And was like, oh, it's time?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Exactly. They put on a show. In their window.
Scheduled?
Every day at 8:00.
Nightly?
And we watched it. And everything was like,
For
whatever.
free?
Yeah, we're just watching it. I'm like, dude, it was like a few minutes.
It's just voyeurism for the love of the game, not even for money.
But what got fucking weird was like, we're sitting there, and this, I'm telling you, like, this is how close the apartment is. Like, I can see their face. I can see their gaze, where they're looking. And so she's getting it or whatever, and her hands are up against the glass or whatever. And then I'm sitting there like watching, and she looks up at me, Angela, at me.
Horrible.
Oh my God. My soul left my body. My head just dropped like this. I was like, close the fucking windows. What are we doing? I was like, so
This is what I mean, dude. Do not involve strangers in your fucking kinks. It's just
He was
so
laughing, dude. Oh my God. He was just howling. I was like, is this every day? He's like, almost every day.
It is a weird thing to surprise you with. It's not like he could have asked whether you were interested before he just put you through it.
Oh, well, we were friends. I was a comic.
I know.
He was like, man, this is material for days. Here I am telling the story 30 years later. So Guilty Angel said that her theory is that Toby was the culprit behind all this. My theory, too, for sure. Toby had a motivation to stop Don's Plum and the thing that I think the book does a pretty good job at is illustrating that he forced himself into a position because he gambled. He thought Leo was going to turn the movie down and that he was going to be able to ride Leo's, sort of unpopular, if not hurtful decision to take our hard work away from us because it was not worthy of the Academy Award nominated actor Leonardo DiCaprio. So when Leo approved it, it threw a big fucking wrench into his plan, which was that he was going to be able to just not have to be the culprit. But then he embraced being the culprit. He said, well, I got to put the evil coat on. I got to put it all the way on. Because the problem was that he had to get rid of Don's Plum that day because literally by the end of that week or the following week, we were going to sign a deal, a multi-million-dollar deal selling our movie to a major distributor in Hollywood. So he had to move fast if he had to kill Don's Plum. There was no waiting. The movie had to die in a hurry for him to survive, or the version of him that he wanted to create.
That's so intense.
Yep. That was the urgency because I couldn't figure it out at first. Like, why would Tobey Maguire need to kill everything in that moment? It all happened in one day. This is the phenomenon, the phenomenon of our story. How would I put that in a better way? This is the real, like sort of weird part of the story that I don't think people really truly understand or embrace. This all went down in a single night. Yeah, tensions rose to the moment, but in one single night, Leonardo, he convinced Leo to completely sever ties with two of his close friends. I was a close friend of Leonardo DiCaprio, whether Leo wants to fucking admit that or not. And RD was even closer. Guilty Angel said, I would never be able to forgive these people. Fucking, I don't know how RD did it. RD literally called me up like fucking, I don't know, maybe it was 4 years ago or something. And he was like, Dale, maybe we did this. It was like the weirdest call I ever got in my life. I was like, but RD, you were right fucking there. It was a strange thing. We have this thing where we convince ourselves, is there, how there's the Stockholm syndrome? There must be some kind of syndrome.
That's what it is.
Is it Stockholm?
Yeah.
Fuck me, man. It was no good. Anyway, Angela's brain is breaking in half and mine is starting to fracture. So you guys are a tremendous fun time every time, even when the news is slow. So thank you for being with us this evening.
today, and I think we really bested those bots.
Yeah, I love watching the comments and seeing how they handle them, because they know how to handle them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they like, this is their community. Do you know what I mean?
That's right.
So these people are coming in. They're coming into their house. It's not even our house. Because, you know, I can fucking turn chat off and just continue yakking with you and do my live. These are the ones that, you know, it's Claire and Guilty Angel and, you know, Delicate.
There is definitely like a
Cosmic
truth.
Urgency wasn't here today, which is strange.
There is definitely a truth that we have to remember. And that's that if these people actually wanted this information, they would know it already.
That's a good point.
Like if they're asking these questions, being argumentative, there's no information that we're going to give them that's actually going to assist anybody in changing their mind at this stage. Like they're not interested anymore. It's been out there. It's all been argued. They're not interested.
They're not.
And every time that we've tried, they just move on to the very next topic. Like they'll just go down their list. They don't actually engage with anything you're saying back. It's just like whack-a-mole. And I don't feel like doing it anymore. So now, you know, when we see these people pop up again, they just get ignored.
I don't disagree. I mean, sometimes I'll find like reasonable purpose in there, but
Right.
what I did learn, and I did like, this is like the cool thing about this community and the way it's kind of almost teaching me how to become a better version of myself, which is just like, I don't need to be reacting to these people. And it was, I forget who it was. I forget, one of you guys sorted me out in the chat, like in a hurry. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I think it was King Gator.
King Gator, yeah.
I think King Gator was like, yo, bro, you know, that's not why we're here. We're not here to watch you and to engage with these fucking idiots. We're here because, you know, you share with with us a perspective we enjoy. Some last notes here on TikTok. CC says, Mr. Hand says, if Don's Plum had been an actual plum and not a movie, I think Toby would have been more okay with people showing it. So in a sense, that's on you guys. It's so abstract, bro.
That is really funny.
It's really funny. It's really abstract. CC says, you told it so well. My soul left my body with the dramatic effect. I crackled out loud. Which is that?
When your friend opened up his blinds and there was the couple in the building across the way.
Yeah.
And she made eye contact with you.
Oh, dude, she stole from me my essence. It was over. I was so afraid. Like when she looked at me, it was like I felt like I got indicted for something. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's so
like
funny.
I just got caught.
Because she knows where you live at that moment, right? You're
Holy
inside that
shit.
place.
I saw her days later.
No way.
Yeah, come out of the apartment when I was going in, and she smiled at me. She was so hot too. It was the weirdest situation.
Creepy.
They were like super gorgeous. Like, I bet you they look at like Life Today with OnlyFans and everything, like, God damn, wrong
they could
era.
have made a killing. They probably are so lucky that they found each other. Imagine having a super weird kink, and then you finally get to pair up with somebody who also has that weird kink. That must feel so great. I wouldn't know. I don't have any weird kinks. Okay, we should go. You
guys are the absolute greatest. I hope you'll come and join us again tomorrow, because tomorrow I think the big news is breaking tomorrow.
You can
we're
just
gonna have big stuff. What do they call it? Big time stuff. What is it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You guys are so great. Thank you for sharing our night and for making every night with us so much fun. It really is easy to come and do this with you guys every night. So we will see you tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. We certainly did. Stop streaming, Dale.